Let's just go in and like kill all the orcs, right? They're the bad guys, who gives a shit? We just hack and slash and we loot their dead bodies, right? Hack and slash, kill them all, conquer the infidels.
Boy, that campaign sounds like a barrel of fun, doesn't it?
Somebody who's opening a refrigerator and leaning in, right, is the language of a woman. Somebody who's opening the refrigerator and being cut off halfway through that lean is the voice of a mermaid or a siren.
They're utter shits. They're utter shits.
This is not the face of the hobby anymore. And I think there's been mistakes made in years past where people assumed that D&D players were all, white dudes in a basement. Which has been a faulty assumption for a lot of years and gets more and more false every day. And so it's, in my viewpoint, honestly, guys like me can't leave soon enough.
I just had to be born with empathy and a weakness for socialism and femboys.
You gotta put a little hot sauce on the taco, you know what I mean?
We want this dwarf to be the dwarfiest dwarf.
Right.
We want the elf to be the elfiest elf.
Just the dashiest dash of Tabasco.
Their voices need to carry across water.
I'm a creative. It's a huge drain, right? Because fans can be awful.
They're utter shits.
When we got the descriptions, they were very adamant. They were like, try not to make it like a white blonde guy. Like, please, like we love him, but there's like 500 million of them.
You say white lives matter, they don't. White lives don't matter because white lives aren't a thing.
Lube for their rectal adventures.
What's this?
What's this? It's the jacket.
The jacket.
Lutherville, Marina Del X, Otisburg. Who's this monster? She's got her own place. Otisburg. It's a little bitty place. Otisburg. Okay, I just wiped it off. That's all. It's a little town.
One girl said she liked big burly orcs with breeding kinks. Okay, I'll just choose the orc boyfriend for her then.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Yeah. 5, 4, 3. Great, Sam.
We dumping chump. It's a landslide, sir.
On guard. It's time to mobilize. Let's go.
A giant penis.
Did you cry? So much. I went into the house and my wife was like, "What's wrong?" And I just crawled onto her and sobbed.
Oh my God.
And here we go.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Good day.
There we go. How's everybody doing? Thank you. Crazy Mouse is here. Rogan is here.
Good day, mate.
Yep. DB is here. $5. Yay, Dog Brothers, Sword Sisters. It's Wednesday. Time to crack some skulls, as per usual. Hope everyone's week is going well. It is. Thank you so much for starting us off. Correct. Chomp, chomp.
We got a shark sighting.
Nice. Good do here. You can just hit that hide button on a big blue hide button to get rid of that. Thank you guys for...
We got some love on Rumble already, too.
Yeah. See Patty there.
Spartan has a burning question here.
All right. Did you get run over? Yes, did you?
Couple weeks in a row, man. Couple videos in a row.
I was reaching for those chicken nuggets he was bogarting.
All right. Well, look, it is very rude when you have guests to kind of keep them waiting.
Bring them in.
So let's
wipe their feet off.
Yeah, wipe the feet off.
Come on in.
Come on in. And here we go. Black Lodge Games, Matt and Nick.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
You guys have been busy. You're always busy.
Yeah.
I am so damn envious. They are masters of the YouTube algorithm and very prolific RPG writers.
We're trying to be masters of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't always work out, but you know.
Oh, I hear you there. I have been just stuck. Badger,
Thank you.
gifted 5 memberships. Holy smokeroos.
Hell yeah.
Starting us off.
Thank you so much, Badger. It's much appreciated. As you guys can probably tell, we're on EV Mux tonight, so not the usual drops and all that stuff. We might be able to sneak 1 or 2 in later. I know you guys have talked about the algorithm and how like those RPG creators who said like they talked to YouTube and YouTube said, "Yeah, we're not going to. We're not going to promote your channel." I'm glad you guys sensed
Only that was true.
Yeah.
In the same respect, like Wonky, you guys will be hearing from him.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I have netted over the last 3 weeks like 5 subs. Now that is my fault. I just haven't done any videos. YouTube punishes you harshly for not doing videos. I mean, if you just do live streams, it's like the more live streams you do without doing a video, the more they punish you. Wow. And I think it's just part of the bargain. It's nothing personal. So, I owe you guys in the chat. I owe you guys a video or 2. See if we can't get the subs up. Let's talk about.
Malachi's saying that Black Lodge volume is rather low.
Ooh. We don't want that. Let's see if
let me
that's
if
on
I
our
can
end.
boost this up or something. That does look kind of low. That's very odd. I will.
The levels are all the way up.
Auto gain control. How is that?
That sounds better.
Okay,
got it.
Yeah, I think
Cool.
that might have been that weird hiss. So, but I have a way to fix
Fix
that
it.
on the fly.
All right, so you guys did, of course. You have Cult of Zayhawk still in the hopper.
Right. Shucked Oyster.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There we go. Which I am really enjoying.
Thank you.
And the thing is, I'm trying to learn how to run like Shadowdark. I've played it, and just we're taking like a very small hiatus from our normal group, and just kind of informally, I'm just trying to run a little bit of Shadowdark, just to kind of get it under my feet a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, the more I do, the more I'm actually looking forward to incorporating some of the Oyster into it.
Oh yeah.
It will take your campaign in directions that you can't possibly anticipate.
Sure.
And you have to let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
Yes, will do. Do you guys like run Shadowdark regularly?
It kind of depends. It's something that's easier to run, kind of as like a introduce people to the game. But our mainstay right now has been Adventurer Conqueror King.
Yeah, I know you guys are huge into Axe too.
Yeah.
Another great game too.
It's really, really good.
There's a lot of really good games.
What's that?
There's a lot of really good games out for as kind of shitty as kind of the big companies are just kind of dropping the ball for a lot of different reasons now. It's just all these other games are just really picking up the slack.
But that's a great thing.
Yeah.
It's like
it's a wonderful opportunity.
Who cares what
I know
these fools are doing?
In the grand scheme of things, yeah. Absolutely. Spartan wants to know, hey, Black Lodge, what do you think of the Hunter series set in the world of darkness run by Alpha Busa? Hold on, I'll be Jeff from the Gaming Gang here. Sorry, that's not our topic tonight.
Denied.
Yeah.
What do you guys, any thoughts on that?
I've actually never played Hunter.
I played one game of it at Gen Con. We did kill a vampire in the daytime, which is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard? Get them in the daytime.
Like the Special Olympics for vampire hunters.
Yeah.
We'll stake this guy. We'll put him under a tent in the daytime.
I have Hunter 5th edition, the new World of Darkness, the new World of Darkness. Although now there's a new World of Darkness.
White Wolf
apparently.
is back apparently.
Yeah. I don't think it means anything.
I think
it's
just
it's a rebranding on the back end.
Okay, that makes sense. Double Shark says, Double D, you will soon be hooked on Shadowdark. We liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Easy to run.
It's good. It's good for what it's clear on what it's trying to do, and it does that thing very well.
Well, I'm for the adventure I'm writing, Isle of the Cursed. It's going to be old school like OSR, and then it's going to be Shadowdark. Two different things. So I'm one of those ones that thinks like you really do need to kind of run something. If you're going to write about it, you
for sure.
Only makes sense. All right, let's talk a little bit. I'll need control for just a moment.
You got it.
Crazy Mouse. If you see any super chats, just let me know.
Okay.
I will get to them. Tell you what, let us go right.
Greg Gillespie's in the house.
Ooh, Greg.
Nice.
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. You're going to be seeing Black Lodge and Wonky in a couple of weeks at North Texas.
Yeah, man. We got a booth. We're running games.
We're selling merch. Yeah.
Yep.
Whole 9 yards.
Yep.
Whole 9 yards. Envious. Next year. We go in next year.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Place to be. Okay. So a lot of you guys, I think, may have gotten Shucked Oyster. I hope you did. And if you didn't, you'll be able to.
You'll be able to get it.
You can buy it now, but you can also get it during the Kickstarter.
So Shucked Oyster was just kind of a like a location. It was more than a location, but less than a setting, I think we could say.
Yes, for sure.
A lot of cool stuff, some intrigue, some history, some kind of humor with a little bit of horror, which I always like.
I like the cover.
Yeah, Crazy Mouse likes the cover that John did.
He's great.
Yeah, and John did the cover for
Bloodmore as well.
Bloodmore as well,
and Cults of Sahak for that matter.
Bloodmore.
Yeah. But he does such really good work.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, this is Bloodmore. I tell you what. Before I talk, why don't you guys tell the audience, what is Bloodmore?
Sure. So the Shucked Oyster, started off, it's meant to be just dropped into anyone's campaign that's running like a pseudo-medieval kind of setting. But we had so many ideas that kind of started falling outside of the scope of this book that it just kept snowballing. And we have this this character, this definitely not a vampire, Mungo Borlov on the front here, who also appears on the Bloodmore cover, who's a strange aristocrat from the mountains. So he's basically this kind of like Dracula-like figure, but he had conquered the entire world.
Himself.
Yeah, exactly. He conquered the entire world, the known world, and he went to sleep because he got bored, and he just was there for a little too long, and he's woken up a couple hundred years after he went to sleep, and everything has gone wrong. His wives are running amok with his country. His vassals have all declared independence, and he's looking to basically settle his affairs in his household, get a divorce from these awful demons that he's married to, and then
what happens when you leave women in charge of anything? I mean,
and it's and once that divorce is over, he can of course kill them and then reconquer the entire world. But his vassal states were also run by these other legendary monsters. So they've each got and they've become more powerful in his absence, of course. So you've got Wraithholm, which is kind of this dark Arthurian land that is run by this Death Knight named Lucan Maldroth. You have Gorgavale, which is like heavy metal album cover land, and that's run by this insane lich named Cadavra. Fleischland to the north is kind of body horror Frankenstein land, and it's really, really wild. We wanted to give everyone basically this is a surrealist horror world, so it's the same kind of humorous tone that the Shucked Oyster has, but it's still, if you take it seriously, it gets very dark. But each country is its own kind of place that you can immediately know what the vibe is. Bloodmoor, that's Dracula Town. This is Romania, this is Transylvania, all of that kind of folklore in it. Wraithholm, again, dark Arthurian England run by the undead. Fleischland, body horror.
Yep.
You get into the Moon Sun Desert, that's kind of your sword and sorcery land.
Yep.
And it's a really, really wild and dangerous place, a very big world. And just like the Shucked Oyster has this big network of characters that are all connected, all of the kind of leaders of these different lands, the monsters, have their own petty kind of quarrels and connections to each other. So you can get wrapped up.
That was a huge strength. That was a huge strength of the Shucked Oyster was the characters. The just all the NPCs gives the DM a lot to chew on. And honestly, like I always think like NPCs are like they're like the bread and butter.
Exactly.
Absolutely. They really are. You also mentioned
some NPCs go down in history more than some of the characters.
That is true. Yeah.
Sometimes that
Yeah.
happens.
There's NPCs we remember from 25 years ago where
of course
I've forgotten some of the characters that might have been in that game, but the NPCs like
Unarat was a dirty fighter.
Was this dirty gladiator fighter that like everybody just seemed to remember, you know?
And we fell in love with him.
Every table has a story about that. You mentioned about the moon. The moon has a special place.
The moon is very important.
Yeah.
Tell us about.
Why don't you take the moon?
Yeah, so obviously it being various flavors of Horror Town, right? Day never comes in Bloodmoor.
Right.
The moon leers down. The face of the moon, one of the moon's many faces, is ever looming. And while, because there's no day and night, the horror monstrosities are free to do their work at any time. However, there is a face on the moon, a huge leering rictus grin monstrosity.
I love it.
It's not good to stare into the moon.
Yeah, for too
people
long.
say for too long, and they're right. But
I always thought that Lumiere like moon, you know, from the early 1900s. I always thought that was a little crazy.
Yeah.
Of course, yes. So the moon doesn't have phases in terms of waxing and waning as we know it on our world, but the moon changes faces. It has different it leers in different ways, different expressions. You know, it exaggerated, you know, comedy tragedy mask kind of deal here, all deeply uncanny valley and quite unnerving. But the light of the moon and the energy, the lunar vibes coming forth from the moon, depending on its different faces, have very notable and significant effects on different regions in Bloodmoor.
Yeah.
You know, there's a land called Sable Moon Glens, where the Banshee Queen, Velinara Moonshadow, maintains dominance. And of course, that is Goth Lothlorien, where it always rains black rain. The mascara is always running.
Right.
And
even if you're not wearing
it's Goth
mascara,
night every
the
night.
black rain will make you be running mascara.
Absolutely. So there are sorrow storms that happen quite frequently there, but sometimes, you know, the tidal pull may cast as we might experience right here with our hailstorm, literally.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, like in Texas where these guys are, they're getting like 3-inch hail, so they may have to dart at any moment.
I think we'll be fine.
I think we'll be fine.
I believe. But sometimes, for example, those sorrow storms come south all the way down to Mirthgrieve, where the Goblin King and his mirthful carnivals and goblin markets are and cause absolute devastation.
Right.
Because obviously the worst thing, most unnatural and anathemic emotion to feel, sensation to feel for a goblin is sadness of any kind.
Right.
And it causes absolute devastation.
Yeah, it's catastrophic.
It's
when,
absolutely
when the
devastating.
sorrow storms pass over Mirthgrieve.
So this happens, and of course there's everywhere in Bloodmoor, whether you're the Death Knights, the vampires, the liches, the sword and sorcery, barbarians, the world is plagued by these fucking werewolves.
Yeah.
And nobody knows where they came from, how to deal with them, other than just to cull them.
Right.
So they're like pests, essentially.
They're kind
They're more
of
like a pestilence.
Yeah, they're a lot like the black hogs that are all over the United States. That's the level of like you just need to exterminate the werewolves. To which we have several new classes coming out. One of them being not the vampire hunter, but the werewolf hunter. Which
his silver weapons.
Yeah, his silver weapons
Well, Edgelord wants to ask for $2, but does Bloodmoor have ogres? I may have something for you here, even though we're on EV Mucks. Let's see.
We have a couple.
There we go.
Like, you've got ogres.
I got
you. What a real captain of industry he is.
We do have ogres. Yeah, they don't play a central role, but ogres, they will be in Bloodmoor as well. Pretty much anything that can eat you or harm you will be in Bloodmoor, and some new things will be in Bloodmoor as well. We have new legendary monsters. Like we said, all the countries are ruled by these legendary monsters, but we have a couple of adventures that are going to come along with the book at a certain tier, and one of those has the potential to meet 2 new legendary monsters if your players are very enterprising and or very stupid. It really kind of depends on your perspective on that one. But it's basically one of the dungeons is the territory of these 2 evil wizards who were working towards creating new evil goos, and they want to create the most horrific goo they possibly can. One was trying to create the recursive slime, and the other was trying to create the gelatinous tesseract. They had a disagreement about the use of angles.
Irreconcilable difference.
Yeah, irreconcilable differences that led to potentially the murder of one of them. But these the ghosts of these wizards will tempt your players to help them complete their work or do other things for them. And so the gelatinous tesseract, which when we go through this, you'll see Patty did the art on it. It's awesome. And this thing is it's a 10-foot by 10-foot by 10-foot by 10-second cube because it has a 4th dimension to it. So it messes with the it messes with the torch timer. But the recursive slime, that is a little different. It follows something called the Fibonacci sequence. Because it was invented by the wizard Fibonacci Viscosini, and so it's like the Fibonacci sequence essentially, where its stats round over round begin to get higher and higher and higher, Fibonacically.
Of course.
Yes. But that one is also messing with space and time, so it will teleport you potentially around the dungeon to different points in time during your delve, as it's getting more powerful and resetting the monsters in the room and things like that. So it's very, you can kill it until you allow it to become too powerful.
It's potentially
and it will just
quite
overwhelm
easy
you.
to deal with if you're lucky in the first couple of rounds. But again, every round we increase on the Fibonacci scale.
Yeah. So it starts 1 hit point, then 2, then 3, then 5,
all of
then
its
8,
stats are 1,
then 13.
I love. I am such a sucker for those kind of things, that kind of mechanic, introducing the time thing to it.
Yeah.
I just love, and I think we need, not that like it's like stale, game design. I mean, because I think there's always different ways to skin a cat, but just anytime you can do stuff like that, oh man, I'm in.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's super fun to. It's been super fun to write.
Yeah. Sure. Let me ask you this, and this may sound for a moment like criticism. I assure you it isn't. Was it inevitable that a couple of theater kids who played vampire quite a bit kind of got drawn into this end of like the kind of D&D, this kind of horror, this kind of Ravenloft? I mean, did you guys set out to do it, or did you just kind of look and say, look, this is what we know best. This is what we could do best. Let's just lean into our strengths.
It was all Mungo. We came up with the idea for Mungo Borlov and all of his intrigues and the brides, and it was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But also very amusing.
Very compelling.
His story, more than anything else, expanded beyond the scope of the Shucked Oyster. Of course, he's in the Shucked Oyster.
He caught your fancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I fell in love with him. I understand that. Yeah.
Why? There's a story here about an ancient vampire who's woken up. His wives are ruining his house. Oh my God! All my investments, all my holdings. Like what? Oh, holy shit! I got to do something about it. But we have monster law. I got to do it by the book. I have to do this right. I fucked up too many times in the past. I have to solve this the right way.
Right.
I can't be playing blood alimony anymore. I have to take care of this. Obviously, we have to tell this story. And if there's an ancient, legendary Dracula out there,
right,
and if he's been ruling things, well, what else does that mean? Well, obviously, there's an Arthas Mordred-style Death Knight out there.
Right.
Obviously, there's a completely batshit Lich,
right,
who has completely ruined his country through multiple magical mishaps, multiple magical experiments, and is trying for something even more insane.
And there's obviously some sort of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Frankenstein
out there.
scientist out
Obviously,
there.
the I will do anything for love Meatloaf character, the Beauty and the Beast, he's out there, and he is out there trying to take care of things. And obviously, if Mungo Borlov has 3 catty wives, which he's trying to turn into ex-wives, obviously there's got to be another hot chick out there who's more hot than them.
Yeah.
Who was in a relationship with Mungo Borlov.
Yeah.
And they actually did end on good terms. But obviously his wives do not believe that and hate her. So there's wheels within wheels going on here. And of course the pettiness and the sort of high school rivalry, that we cut our teeth on with Shucked Oyster. Not only is that going on at the top level, these petty dramas and intrigues are informing how each of these lunatics are governing their countries. And so it trickles down to the regular people in all kinds of very amusing ways.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Steve, you got a question.
Yeah. Have you guys ever played Curse of Strahd, the legendary?
Never.
Nope.
We've
never read Ravenloft
I was going to ask, was Ravenloft a direct inspiration? Obviously, it was no inspiration. Well, I went into your history. You guys, I know you guys did play a lot of Vampire and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. A lot of Vampire the Masquerade, but the Ravenloft. The only other kind of similarity, other than that, there's a big vampire, and it's Horrorland, is that your characters can get pulled in from other settings into Bloodmore.
Which is exactly what happened in your game, your X game.
Which they fell down a bottomless pit, and so it can happen any number of ways. Like people from Bloodmore cults might try to like summon demons, and they accidentally summon you because there's something going on in the background of reality that makes this place so weird. But it could also be that your players did something really, really stupid. Like there's that glowing neon green radioactive gem, and they just had to touch it, and you touched the gem, now you're in Bloodmore. Or you fell down a bottomless pit, you're now in Bloodmore. You got swallowed by a giant whale. Something stupid.
You jumped into the maelstrom.
If there's any number of ways, or if you're playing something like Victor Gorchev's Blacklight, they might have a Stargate or something that portals into Bloodmore that allows them to come in with machine guns and fight vampires and stuff.
You went up to the champagne room with the stripper, and lo and behold, boom! Now you're
Exactly.
More than you bargained for.
And and obviously GMs can do whatever they want when they have the book, but the way we look at this is it's kind of a one-way ticket. We're not providing an escape route.
Yeah. If you want to leave, that's up to you.
Yeah.
So let's look at a couple of different aspects of the coming campaign. Now this is going to be June 3rd. I thought you.
That's right. Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Okay, there you go. You guys got a week to save up your money here. We have a physical and digital bundle. Now, of course, we see the Bloodmore, the main book here. Tell us a little bit about these two zines.
Yeah, so the two zines, those are the adventures we were talking about. On the right, you can see, and both of these covers were done by Patty's Parlor, by the way. They're excellent. And also the map on the one on the left is done by Marcus Whelan, who's doing all of the maps for each country. So we have a big world map, but then each country gets its own more detailed hex map. But those two zines are these two adventures. And the way we wrote it, very much like the Shucked Oyster, is that it's a jumping off point for more adventures, for you to go and do something else. It's not just going to end like, all right, we killed the demon and that's the end of that dungeon. It's like, no. It's connecting threads to the rest of the world.
Everything leads to something
else. And so those with
we had
the
a super chat here. Crawford of the Crimson Claw for $5. Thank you, sir. Loved Shucked Oyster and Cults of Zayhawk. Can't wait to get my weird bleeding hands on Bloodmoor. There you go. Sounds spectacular.
Thank you, dude.
All right.
Thank you
We
so
guys
much.
already got a pre-sale there.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And we do encourage you guys to go to the link in the description, click it, and sign up for the notification so you know exactly when this goes live, because Kickstarters live and die on that first and second day.
Yep.
And we want to make a big splash.
Yes.
So we do appreciate everyone's support
And also,
who's interested.
brief aside, so that you get notified for the rave party.
Oh, that's
our
right.
Traditional
our
Black
traditional
Lodge
Black
Games,
Lodge Games
Kickstarter rave party.
Yeah, which we do every launch day. But here, so it's like you have these two zines. They're going to be, probably within the 30 to 40 page range, each one. They've got maps. One of them is like multiple stages to the delve. We have the premium hardcover. This one is not a print on demand. Neither are the zines. But it's a print on demand. It's got a stone binding, and it's made in the United States of America. Woo! That I don't know if you heard that.
I can hear it. We can hear that coming through. Holy smokes! If you guys got to check on something, go ahead. I can kill time.
I think that was a big burst of lightning. My dog is freaking out.
Disco says there will be a Kickstarter rave for 2 days.
Yeah, but we've got this. Anything physical is going to come with the PDFs and whatnot. We've got bundles that have the Shucked Oyster and Cults of Zayhawk with it. Everything that you could possibly need.
Doing this on your back porch?
No, it's just
it's very loud.
It's just very loud. The lightning is very close.
But you had mentioned
it's totally getting picked up by the mic. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's very thematic for what we're talking about.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You mentioned briefly a little bit about the Slime Lords dungeon.
Yeah.
Our other dungeon on the left, that is more of a cloak and dagger, Roman style patrician politics. So that takes place in Wraithholme. This, again, ruled by Sir Lucan Maldroth. This hierarchical, militarized.
I'll be right back.
That's fine. Militarized country. Everybody has their place, and things are exactly, well, some might say, as they should be. But because it's ruled by a Death Knight and his other undead lieutenants, commanders, and captains, if you want to enact change, or if you want to get to the top of the food chain, it might take a while for these undead individuals who live forever to vacate their positions. So what's a guy to do? Well, obviously you have to turn the wheel and make things happen yourself. So this takes place, it seems initially, it's in a tomb, it's in a big patrician-style mausoleum, but the head of the family, living head of the family, decided, well, I have generations of the best and the brightest. Let's just bring them back and let's get this conspiracy going. You're a ghost. You possess the local orc war chieftain and try and get some false flag operations going. You possess bedknobs and broomstick style, this suit of ancient armor, and take care of things over here. You do this. So there's a big conspiracy happening with individual characters and opponents handling smaller pieces of that larger conspiracy. And you could disrupt some of that. You could disrupt all of it. You could find something else that's going on in the dungeon, which not even any of these conspirators are aware of, and rat them all out. It's up to you. So you have a lot of different choices, and there's branching ways in which heading into this dungeon might affect the situation in Wraithholme.
Right.
I love the use of the Death Knight.
Death Knights are so cool.
Yeah, they don't get nearly enough love. Like they should. I think we have a super chat from James.
Clear out of here!
Had that one queued up.
Yeah. What's going on, dude? Love DM James.
Are those nerds in the Sunshine State? The thunder lined up with what's going on?
Yeah, we are in Texas.
Yeah. Different kind of sunshine. The
Yeah.
drive. Thank you, James. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, dude.
James is a good dude.
He's been running a vampire game himself, I think.
Yeah.
I believe it's still going.
Based on the principles of
Black Lodge Games,
Black Lodge
which is
Games
true and
Mafia,
accurate.
Yeah.
He's a very keen individual, DMG.
Yeah.
All right, so as I said earlier, you'll have physical and digital. You'll be able to pick up the Shucked Oyster and Cults of Zayhawk, right? If you didn't.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you get the physical copies of those are fulfilled through Drive-Thru RPG. So it is still a lower price to get those if you back at those tiers, but there is that standard, like, you have to pay to get it printed and shipped through Drive-Thru.
And we tried to be upfront as in as
clear
much
as possible
locations
on
as
the-
we could to
avoid.
How has that worked? I mean, overall, how would you say that's worked?
It's been fine. Most people understand like how it works. There's always some people who kind of don't read the fine print, and then you explain it to them. We've never had anybody that was like,
I want my money back.
I want my money back or anything like that. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, because it is on the Kickstarter page and has been on the others. The only problem with that we've seen is that recently Drive-Thru drastically increased the production cost, or their printer increased the production cost on black and white books.
Right.
So it kind of just didn't make sense anymore for us to do it economically, which is why we started looking like maybe we can do an offset print run for this one.
Okay. Well, I may be talking to you guys then, when I'm ready.
Yeah, we'd be happy to.
We are happy to talk to you anytime if you want to talk about Kickstarters, anything, man.
Yeah, I'm going to be picking your brain because you guys have been through now you'll have been through
This
three.
is our third, yeah.
Yeah, so for sure. Yeah, I know who to ask. We'll sneak another one in here from James, $5. Playing a game of 5e Vampire with the ST.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
All your advice and watching the storyteller.
Yeah.
And
I love
watching
it.
Great stuff.
Nice.
Cool. Thank you, James.
James
Can
is
you
also
see the,
very funny.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the other thing.
I like the way this is looking already.
Getting away from Drive-Thru is allowing us to do things like print on the interior cover. So we'll have the world map there. And then on the back, we haven't decided what's going to go on the interior back covers yet, but that'll also be information that can be used by the game master.
Yep.
Sorry, my dog is trying to get in.
Are you sure it's your dog?
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Stop Mungo.
We definitely don't want it to be Mungo. We did not give him permission to come into the house, so
Yeah.
we've gotten stronger.
This is a wild thunderstorm, as I'm sure you can hear. So
Yeah. Thank you for bearing with it.
All good.
Yeah. Thraxis for $4.99. Hey guys, looking forward to seeing Black Lodge Games at North Texas.
Yeah, man, me too.
Him, these guys, you'll be able to see Matt and Nick.
Yep.
You'll be able to see Greg Gillespie, who might still be in the chat. You'll be able to see Wonky. All the cool kids go to North Texas.
Ian Blackwall is going.
Blackwall will
Chubby
be there.
Funster will be there.
Alchemic
Alchemic Raker will be there.
Yeah.
So come say hi.
Yep.
Kelsey Dion is going to be there. She's wonderful in person.
This is the con that sells out really fast, correct?
Yeah. It's about 500 tickets, and then I think they do 100 at the door for people because it does sell out very quickly.
All right, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to.
low Dunbar
relatively
number.
small. Yeah, exactly. It's like there's tons of games. It's a perfect sized venue for it, but you're not like shoulder to shoulder with people. There was a lot of like powerlifters.
Yeah.
Like your friend,
My
the
buddy John
strongman.
Watson of Rugby Melee Games, who's done a bunch of stuff for DCC and Torg and ECD6. He'll be there.
Hygiene seems pretty good there, so it's
good physiognomy.
Yeah, it's a very
fellow
fun
smokers were there.
I just kind of know by who goes. You can kind of tell like all the kind of the riffraff, all the loonies are not there. To avoid it. Yeah. Now let me ask you this: does this sell out in like minutes or seconds? Is it like
No, not that fast. You could get
I don't
like,
believe so.
I think it was like several weeks that it took, but eventually it did sell out. But it sold out a couple months ago.
This has the feel of something to me that's going to keep I mean, they may resist it, but it could get bigger if they wanted to. Just because I keep hearing more and more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
hope
think
they
that's
don't.
My
I
wife
think
does. My wife is in all these like Facebook gaming groups. She's like, "This is North Texas. Do you know anything about it?" I'm like, "Yeah." So if it's filtering down to people kind of like at my wife's level, who's just kind of like a board gamer, then I got a feeling it's just going to keep growing if they want it to.
Yeah.
They like it. which is fine because that's what Gen Con should have done that 15 years ago.
Oh God, yeah.
Right. I mean, it's insufferable now. Me and Rogan went last year, and it's like the planet Gideon in that one Star Trek episode where it's just a planet full of people. Like nobody can sit down or anything. It's just like everybody is like shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, I've been many times. I haven't been since 2019, but even back then,
it's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse.
Yeah,
you got a taste of it. You got a good taste of it. It's next week, Chris. Chris asked when in Texas.
Yep.
Yep.
It just upgraded the hail size from 3 inches to baseball sized.
Oh, cool.
So, holy shit.
We say a prayer for next cars, their windows, their
It's
roof.
a good thing it gets hot in Texas, and there's canopies over the parking lots. So.
Right.
Yeah, that might be your saving grace.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right, so tell it what's going on in this picture here.
So this is the cover, again, also done by Patty of that Patricians, was it Patricians of the Wraithlands?
Yeah, yeah.
The dungeon with the conspiracy. So we see a decrepit undead, well, not technically undead, just dead and possessed.
Yeah.
And we have the main man, the mastermind of it all, the living patriarch of the family there in the middle, and of course an ensorcelled and animated, ghostly animated suit of armor there, and they are of course putting their pieces and deciding where to strike.
Yeah.
Planning their grand strategy. I love it.
Indeed.
Ultra American tabletop role player, $2. I got your thing queued up for Wretched Dixie Ultra. I'll be running a couple of Horde Wars basic games at my first ever con attendance in July here in Arkansas. There you go. I look forward to actually gaming in person for a change. Hopefully get some folks hooked. Well, best of luck
Jeff
to you.
Hatch's?
Yeah, I was going to say, you should hook up with Jeff Hatch. I know he's in Arkansas, too. Let's see here. All right. The time has
The
come.
one, the only, the inscrutable, invertebrate, never to be outdone Leech Man.
Yeah, this is one of our
This
new
is an
playable-
ancestry or like a race you can play.
Yeah. Obviously, this is not a monster. Obviously, this is a civilized
person.
individual.
Yeah, this is a civilized individual that you can play. So this is the Leechmen. A lot of them work for Mungo as his blood tax collectors, but many choose to go adventuring. And there's a lot of different player-facing factions that you can join as well. So that are all kind of also tied in opposition to the various forces. So there's a whole lot of options here. But the Leechman is boneless, so he's very difficult to wrestle and get a hold on. So you can kind of squirm out and disgustingly get away from things. But they're a very fun. The artist who did this, Joe Porchio, is just amazing. He's out of Spain.
And I think we're going to have more from him.
More from him as well. He also did the world map for us.
Yes.
But yeah, he did the Leechman here, and everything that we gave him as like inspiration and everything, he was just like, got it, and just immediately sent us back some sketches that we were like, this is
we know
exactly
these are
what we wanted.
very strange.
Yeah.
I know it's not like a direct inspiration because they don't look alike, but did you ever see the X-Files episode with the Fluke Man?
The Leech Man?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. When I heard Leech Man, I'm like, ooh, I wonder if it is.
Yeah. There is a little bit of that in there, but the main actual visual inspiration for this one is if you've ever seen the cartoon The Tick from the 90s.
Oh,
yeah. There was an episode where there was this kind of like world fair science thing, and one of the guys doing this experiment had created this monstrous creature called Tongue that was completely made out of tongues and looks somewhat like that. So I sent that to the artist as our reference.
I'm going to be checking that out right after the stream.
Yeah. It's a great episode too.
It's a
so
great
funny.
show.
That was a fantastic.
Excuse me.
Hello to you, Osiris.
What's going on, dude?
Yeah, hold on a second here.
It's yours.
Go back. Go ahead.
Yes.
The most beautiful race in all of Bloodmoor. The scintillating scales, the supple, thin hands of the Fishman.
Yeah. Yeah, these
Not
guys.
Fishman, Fishman.
Fish,
The
it's
Fishman.
Fishman.
It's
Very
Fishman.
different.
Yeah. And so this is there's a lot of different places from within the Black Sea that these people come from. They eventually have to journey out into the world. Many of them join the Whaling Guild to fight against the infernal whale menace within the Black Sea, and they are searching for what they believe can finally bring an end to this menace, which is the Harpoon of Destiny. And this the fishmen, you can be a sea bass, a trout. There's pretty much everything, but you can breathe underwater. You cannot drown, essentially. And they've got some other very interesting things coming along with them. But this was another one where we sent references to the artist, and he was just like, "Yeah, that totally makes sense. Got it." And sent us back some great sketches.
Yeah,
It's not great. I love the way it looks.
Yeah, and he does. This is all like hand drawn, like ink.
Yeah,
This was not
yep.
even digital, which was just awesome.
So glad you guys are using like good artists. Are you still using like public domain and that sort of stuff too?
The public domain stuff really worked for Cults of Zahak
Because of the tone of
yeah.
that book in particular.
and it looks so good. We got a proof copy today.
We did use a little public domain art for Shucked Oyster.
Oh, that's true.
For
No, we
Father
did. We
O'Malley
did.
and
and Madame Vice,
Vice.
And a couple of the full pages pieces. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
We did use public domain stuff. There's a lot of really amazing public domain art out there. That
I found you do have to kind of be discerning, but if you're willing to like put in the time and flip through it and look, I've already found a couple. I'm like, okay, I can snag this. This is
right. And if you find a good artist,
4 or 5 are like perfect.
yeah, if you find a good artist, Gustav Dore is amazing. Albrecht Dürer, you can find a lot of Albrecht Dürer stuff on the Met website, Met Open Access, because they've got so much public domain stuff, and it takes a little work. Like you have to fix it up in Photoshop or whatever, because it's scans of like old yellow parchment, you know. But you can make that black and white, pump up the contrast a little bit, and it looks so good. And
I've already had to do that. I'm glad you mentioned
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
I was like, man, am I doing the right thing here? So
Oh yeah,
glad-
totally. We actually, some of the stuff that we used in the Shucked Oyster, we sell on Drive-Thru-RPG as stock art assets, because they're already fixed up and cleaned up for you. You don't have to really do anything to them. You can just drop them in. Yeah.
Great idea.
And we'll be doing more with the stuff that we did with Cults of Zahak as well, because we got a lot of really good stuff for that.
Well, here's your basically the whole world map. So
Yes.
this should look familiar to anybody who's cracked open a atlas.
I don't know what
kind
you're
of, but let's why don't you walk us through this? Give us the dime tour, as they
Yeah,
say.
so the entire world map used to be Bloodmoor. When Mungo had conquered everything, that was the entire Bloodmoor Empire, but it has since fractured down. And so centrally, you have Bloodmoor, where that giant castle is, Mungo's imposing castle coming out of the mountains. And that is, like we said, this kind of Transylvanian land. To the northwest is Fleischland, which is the more kind of Victorian age science, mad science land, where the one of the player-facing factions is known as the Royal Society, was founded there. Their actual name is the Royal Society of Unrestrained Vivisection and Men of Vision. So mad scientists really kind of are attracted to this.
Absolutely.
Out of Brukenenko University in the capital city of Kronenberg. And then to the south is Wraithholm. And where you see there's a river that goes down into this place called the Mudlands. And the Mudlands is this very highly contested area between Wraithholm, Gorgavale, and Mirthgrieve. And so at the moment, Wraithholm controls it. And the mud there has these very special properties that everyone is kind of seeking for their own purposes. And Lucan Maldroth has found that if he buries a bunch of bodies there, such as his armies who die, they come back and they serve him as undead. And so this has been kind of transformative to the economy of Wraithholm. It's become the breadbasket of the world because you can just have undead farmers,
Skeletons and zombies tilling
out
fields
there
at all hours.
24 hours
It's
a day.
great.
Or 24 hours a night, rather.
24 hours, of course.
Excuse me. But the others in Gorgavale, the Mad Lich Cadavra has his own designs on the mud because he's using it for some other purposes as well. And of course, the Goblin Kingdom of Mirthgrieve, the goblins are trying to plant more of their the brambles,
their brambles and their hedge woods,
expand this kind of madness fairyland into the south of Wraithholm, and so there hasn't been a mud war in a while. There's been a couple
of mud wars in the past.
There was Mud War 1 and Mud War 2. Mud War 3 is kind of on the brink. It's coming up. And the Lich, he needs the mud, but he needs to turn it into sand for his giant magical hourglass that he's using for things. And he has a quote that this was one of our subscribers on YouTube said this. It was, I do not know what weapons will be used to fight Mud War 4, but to fight Mud War 3. But Mud War 4 will be fought with sand.
It's a great play on that old saying.
So there's the potential for these conflicts, and Shadowdark out of the box, it's not about like mass combat and things like that, but Alchemic Raker has this amazing supplement called Hell March, which is basically a very simplified version of Chainmail. And it's not, we're not making this to be perfectly integrated with that, but it's so easy to use that if you did want to, kick off Mud War 3, you could absolutely do that. And if you just pay the $5 on Drive-Thru RPG or whatever it is for Hell March, and you can go wild with that. And then in the kind of southeastern corner, we have the Moonsun Desert. And this is
Sword and Sorcery
Land. Yeah, I'll let you kind of give the rundown on that.
Before you do that, let me just give a quick shout out to Sean for
Snake
5 memberships. Thank you, buddy, as always.
Remember was it last week that someone gave a membership? Wonky walked right in and got it.
Yeah, Wonky walked right in.
Walked right out.
Great timing. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sean. As always, we really appreciate it. Go ahead, Nick.
So all of the tropes and characters you might expect in a endless, brutal sword and sorcery wasteland are here. And of course, also briefly before we dive into them completely, we have Goodland on the edge of the Moonsun Desert.
Those of you who may have the Shucked Oyster already
may recognize
recognize the ruler of the country of Goodland, who is Gaston the Righteous. And so he has carved this out. Basically, he planted his flag in Gorgavale and just started fighting. And he started winning. And now he's got his own country. And it's driving the Lich insane. More insane.
More insane.
Gaston, he was part of the good adventuring group in the backstory, right?
He's
not part of those. Were
it was a separate character. Godfrey.
He's one of the patrons of the oyster.
Yeah,
but there was
he has a sentient sword named Coward's Bane, and the previous
that's right.
Bane,
yeah.
Godfrey the Gallant. Yeah.
Yes.
No relation.
No relation.
These are just
to
two badass characters of different eras, and they're not related.
Coward's Bane always chooses wildly.
Yeah. Well, he chooses wisely and masculinely.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. But in addition to the conflict with the Lich and Goodland, there is a conflict between Gaston and a sort of Conan-esque barbarian thief figure called Karn Sclavelbald.
Yeah.
Who is just a man's man, living, wearing a loincloth, no shirt, all the time, and just living life simply but violently. And they haven't met on the battlefield yet. Gaston is eager to meet him on the battlefield, but what Gaston doesn't know is that Karn has a strength of 18.
Right.
Which
is
were they to
important
meet for those who have the Shucked Oyster?
Yeah, there's a lot of good connections in this that's going to lead to out into the Moonsun Desert for some very, very fun adventures.
But they may become unlikely accidental best friends.
Right.
But there's also a very resentful, very weak, very pencil-necked wizard out there in the remains of this obsidian pyramid, half buried in the desert, called Kazam the Black Sultan, who thinks about Gaston constantly.
Right.
Whereas Gaston thinks of him almost never at all, except to fantasize about punching him in the nose.
Yeah.
Of course. But there is also a city is perhaps too grand, but a coalition and congregation of the mutants and the beastmen and the creatures that live in the waste called the Hidiopolis, ruled by a being just called the Creature.
Yeah. Who is a hideous freak, a hideous, resentful freak. So there's
I love how you describe Madame Vice and the Shucked Oyster. I was just reading it, and you're like, this grizzled old broad. I started laughing out. That's the kind of writing I really admire.
She's made some very bad choices. Yeah. She's not supposed to be likable.
It's the grizzled old broad. Yeah, what is I love just kind of going through the just.
Yeah, if you scroll down a little, there's you'll see one of the first maps of the Bloodmoor region itself.
Yeah, each country is getting its own detailed hex map.
Yeah, so you can use it basically like you can run entire campaigns just within a single country because they're very, very big and there's going to be a ton of hooks in these places. But you can also get embroiled in this kind of these bigger conflicts that go across borders and things like that. And the way it's being designed is we have lots of points of interest for each country, but you're also supposed to be, it is assumed that you are using the hex crawling rules in Shadowdark. So you're going to find a lot of dungeons and a lot of other things out there that you're going to design on your own and use that. So it can very easily, everybody's Bloodmoor experience is going to be different than everyone else's. And that's exactly the way it should be. And everything that we've described, we've got all these, these relationships and people hate each other and this and that. It's all a premise. There's not a meta plot here. There's not like we have plans for what comes next. It's like we wanted to bake in as much conflict as possible. So as soon as you start playing, stuff is going to get really real really fast.
Much like the Shucked Oyster.
Yeah.
Yes. Pyrella for $2. This money was going to go to Black Lodge.
No.
Well, money well spent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, remember, guys, campaign launches June 3rd, so next Tuesday.
Yep.
I will. It'll be in the first 48 hours, so I will remind everybody of both yours and Wonky's who's going to be on next.
Awesome.
As they're going on, so I'll make sure to give you a shout out. Like you said, those first 2 days are.
Yeah, they're critical. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's. Nice map here. Yeah, I like how it's kind of sandboxy.
Right.
There's no linear. There's nothing, strictly linear.
No, not at all.
Just kind of get it and pick an area to start in and see what you're.
Yeah, much like the Shucked Oyster. It's like if you just start flipping through the Shucked Oyster for 5 minutes, it's like, got it. I understand the premise.
Yeah.
The gimmick. There's an immediately accessible sort of vibe going on that you can just run with. But if you and your players want to dive deeper, if you really do get hooked on something, there's material there to dive deeper. Of course, we have the curse of the oyster and all the things that are in that book, and it's going to be the same thing with Bloodmoor.
Yeah.
Every country, we know what Goth Horrorland looks like. We know what Dracula Town is like, Lichland. It's like, got it, can run with it. But where your players get interested or get caught up in through any avenue, there's going to be more stuff to discover and to delve into.
It will have so much stuff in it that it won't be possible for a single party to see everything. Like it's just too much. It's not too much. It's overflowing, with awesome ideas.
How do you guys break out the workload? Like, have you guys kind of like kept to the same sort of, regimen that you used for Shucked Oyster? Are you guys still kind of working the same way? Do you guys get along well while you're working? Or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's so much fun. Like there are times where we kind of get stumped for a while. Like you get and you just kind of have to like stew on some ideas, or like we'll hit kind of a blocker that it takes a little bit of thought, but it's so much fun to work through this stuff. And like Colts was a much more serious tone and than both Shucked Oyster and Bloodmoor. But it was really interesting. The Shucked Oyster in Bloodmoor is very fun and funny. We're just dying, cackling, laughing the entire time. Colts was a much more difficult nut to crack, though, and so it took it took like laser focus to get through that one. Whereas this one, it's like we're riffing, and we've been thinking about it for months, because every time we're working on something, we're filing away ideas on whatever the next project is. We'll just write it down, come back to it, once that other one's done. But it's just an enormous amount of fun to do it, and we work through some very tough problems on the content, and usually once we crack some super hard nut, then it's just rolling and rolling and rolling. It's awesome.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. There's certain nights where it flies, and like you are so excited. And then there's other nights where you're like, shit, I don't know where to go I don't know where to go here, but if you just keep at it. And then I'm sure you guys know this too. It's like sometimes some idea will strike you and you'll be like, oh shit, I should have done this. So then you got to go back and rewrite a bunch of shit you wrote.
Yeah, that's happened. Or it's basically just like something else will be like, oh, actually this will connect to this other thing very easily now.
Right.
But yeah, there's definitely, like when we wrote the Shucked Oyster, we definitely had to go the earliest part of that thing that we had started writing before the idea had really crystallized was the very front of that book, and we had to go back and rewrite some of that, which was very easy because we knew like by the end of the process, we knew what needed to be fixed in the beginning of it. But yeah, it's a process of getting out a ton of notes and having a structure and Bloodmoor is an easy structure because we've got chapters on countries, and so the structure for a country entry is going to be relatively the same, and it's a matter of creating that content for it. So I love it. I don't want to do anything else. This is I love doing this.
Keep doing the things you're good at, and like I said, I know I will keep buying it, and I'm sure those folks in the chat.
Thank you, man.
Is there anything you want to say before we let you go, other than June 3rd launch day?
Yeah, June 3rd launch day. It's
at 11. It starts at 11.
11 or 12. Yeah, probably around noon. We'll have a more definite answer on that a couple days before, but we're still getting some details sorted out and whatnot.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys as always for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having us.
Always great. Yeah, and don't worry, I'm gonna be asking for you guys to return the favor. A little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anytime,
dude. You want to come and when you're ready, come on and promote your stuff. Awesome. But if you just want to talk about business and Kickstarter and things like that,
I'll be doing that too. Yeah, I definitely want to pick the brains of people who've been through it and people who know what they're doing, which is you guys. So.
Yeah, and thank you so much to your audience for tuning into us, and we hope you'll join us on the Bloodmore journey. It's going to be just a ton of fun.
You're going to love it.
You're going to love it.
All right. Well, Matt and Nick, Black Lodge Games, thank you so much. You guys will be streaming again tomorrow, correct?
Tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah.
All the time.
Okay, catch them live for more, I'm sure, more Bloodmore talk. So, all right. We'll let you guys go.
Have a good night.
We will catch up soon.
Good luck with
night, guys.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck with the insurance and all that.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys. All right. Before we go here, clean this up again. Mercurius has been struck by lightning.
Your name is Toby.
Your name is Toby.
I don't have that drop tonight.
Has been struck by lightning and hopefully not 3-inch hail. For gifted one membership. Thank you so much, Mercurius. Much appreciated. So I see Wonky is backstage. We'll get to him in just a moment. But hope you guys, as always, check it out. I have no.
The price wasn't mentioned. How much was it?
I'm not sure if they have the prices.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it'll be competitive.
Yeah.
I know they're not looking to jam anybody. I'm sure it'll be probably along the lines of Shucked Oyster, and they are right. I guess Drive-Thru upped their prices for print on demand, which kind of sucks because that's kind of what I was planning on doing, but it might not make sense now. So, but that's okay. We will roll with the punches as always. Have no problem supporting those guys. They're easy to talk to.
Is that their main job?
I think it's a lot of what they do.
Remember how sometimes in our production meetings you'll be like, any questions that put up on that, for the question. Mine was, I thought of it today, would be how many hours a week do you spend on the hobby?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I am an extreme casual gamer. And I would say mine is when you add in Wednesdays and Fridays and a tiny bit of prep work I have to do throughout the week, like to read something up or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe 8 to 10.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. And that's
then
just for a hobby, for a casual.
Yeah. And then I thought, well, like you're on other people's channels. You went and played a game all day on Memorial Day.
Yep.
Right. So would you say that you are 40?
Yeah.
Because you're writing
with show prep, with channel prep, with writing, it's just kind of, that's why I told these guys before, we're going to have to take a slight hiatus from Otto and Rorik, just because, like I said, new grandfather, like it seems like there's new things all the time. I just got to cut out a little bit until I can get this adventure where I want it. Then we'll go back to it. So fear not. But for right now, I gotta beg your forgiveness, chat. So
I question your devotion to the hobby, Mr. Mouse. In which way, Toby?
Cal?
Yeah.
I think he's saying only 10 hours. Yeah, he is a very casual gamer.
Yeah.
Cal. He's a casual gamer. Wonky.
Hey, how's it going?
Let me change the banner here. See, I came prepared.
When I saw Triple H, I thought Triple H.
Yeah. Thought maybe we get some wrestling fans.
Well, wrestling, some wrestling RPG.
Right, I've got a couple questions. How's everybody doing? Thank you for having me on. I am so stoked to be here. What's up, chat? What's up, Double D? Hey, everybody. How are we doing?
It's been too long, brother. I think it was back
totally
in
has.
October. I think we talked.
Was it that long ago? No way. I feel like we talked like right before I left for Jamaica.
Do you want a little bit of trivia?
Well, hold on. It couldn't have been that long because we were telling people about his channel.
Yeah, but that was were you on in between? Was he on in between?
I remember plugging his channel.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't know if he was on or that was just a thing, or if we just got.
Well, just still plug his channel.
Yeah,
come on, sign up.
Appreciated.
Doesn't
Very
cost
appreciated.
anything to subscribe.
But the one you were on in October,
yeah,
that is still the highest live viewers we've ever had.
No shit. Well, I guess I got that razzle dazzle. What can I say? Big pimpin' ain't easy.
So good to see you. And for you guys that don't know, excuse me, Wonky is doing some art for me.
Oh yeah.
And doing a damn good job.
Thank you. Thank you very kindly. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure. You've seriously become probably like my favorite client to work with. Honestly, you just kind of like, here's some inspiration, go wild, produce some kick-ass stuff, let's rock. And I love it because, I don't know, it's nice to have a little bit of a long leash, but good parameters to be within. I just think we have a really good, I don't know, vibe, cohesion working together.
I agree. That's my philosophy is just like you said, give some guidelines. Here's the person you're drawing can't be a 5-foot dwarf. He's got to be a human. Maybe dark hair, but if something looks good to you, go for it.
I love it.
Pretty much my instructions, as Wonky will tell you. Like I trust a good artist to do what they do best. So
I'll take a compliment.
By the way, you are not late. An artist is never late. You're precisely on time. So just keep taking your time because I have other art outstanding too, and some art that hasn't even begun yet. So just keep going, do a good job, like I know you're going to do.
Absolutely, my friend. Yeah, no, I did not expect to be running a Kickstarter so shortly here. That really threw up my entire life schedule.
Well, speaking of that.
Oh, yeah, what do we got going on?
Speaking of that, let's bring in. Would
you look at
that? Oh my lord!
It's me.
Triple H.
Indeed. Oh, his Heinous Harvest been a long time coming.
I'm so glad you kept the giggle tar.
Oh, it's the main selling point, I feel.
I remember a long time ago when you came on, you were promoting this. This is going to be a double team, with another creator, and that kind of didn't quite work out. So you kind of just
Yeah.
came back and are just promoting it singly now.
Exactly so. And, it's been an amazing experience. I'm so thankful for, all of what happened, between Guts and Glory. And then that kind of pushed me to learn all of the things that I was scared and unconscious about. And, like I had to learn how to do budgeting for the first time. I've been doing layout work. Like it's really pushed me in so many new ways. I couldn't be more thankful for the experience I've had.
Yeah, it's I know exactly what you mean. When something like that happens, as they say, necessity is the mother of invention. So
Truth.
you're kind of
Truth be
like
told.
thrown in, and you're like, all right, well, sink or swim. What do I want to do? Is this something I want to do? Well, I got to get it done.
It's something I need to do. And it's intimidating in some respect, being a one-man band. It's completely written, illustrated, the layout, the marketing. This is a one-man show.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the good thing is you don't have a lot of overhead. You're just
Not
doing
at
it
all.
yourself.
Yeah, no, that's a huge blessing. And,
There's no
it's so
creative
nice.
differences. Yeah, no creative differences. Yeah.
Right.
That's what I was wondering when I asked Matt and Nick. I'm like, it seems like they're really good friends. So I was just kind of wondering, like, it's perfectly natural even for buddies to squabble every once in a while. But yeah, they seem to work really well together.
Honestly. Oh, also, huge shout out to those guys. Bloodmore looks awesome. What a kick-ass project. I am so stoked about that. Oh, that's going to be good.
See, it's like I can't believe people would still like waste their money on like what $180 to $200 for like the D&D core books. You could like get like better. There's like just better stuff out there.
Real innovative creation. Yes.
Yes. Look, anything by them is good. Anything by you is going to be good. His Heinous Harvest, and this is stuff like there ain't going to be like long print runs for this stuff. It's like you better hop on it and grab it while you can. Because you never know when someday it's like, oh shit, I missed it. Now I can't get this anymore.
Right, exactly. So my game plan with this is for like PDFs and print on demand. It is going to be perpetually available, but I'm pretty much gearing my entire Kickstarter launch towards a very limited collectible print run of exclusive hardcover books that I'm putting everything I've got into.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you doing the print on demand at drive-through?
Until they kick me off, yeah.
Like I said, I was looking at that. I was kind of scared when I heard about the price increases and all that. But it seems like they actually increased it for black and white, but like it's almost the same for like color hardcover. It didn't seem like there was much of an increase, at least for that. It was really weird because you'd think like, oh, the color would be the one item to go up, and it didn't seem like it was.
Right, you would think, but I guess not. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes there. I'm just happy to have such a service because, like, realistically, I live in the middle of nowhere, Alaska. It's going to be very hard for me to ship out of country is the big concern, and so having print on demand available where all of that's covered, it's going to be so nice for, people all across the world.
Yeah, we got to remember, you're up in the Great White North up there in Alaska.
Right, I feel very confident on shipping out the actual like hardcover books and that kind of stuff just because it is going to be a limited print. And then, honestly, thank God for things like stamps.com as well as flat rate boxes. So shipping's going to be fairly comparable to projects of equal nature.
Good night, Chubby.
See you, Chubby.
Yeah, good night.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you give us the elevator pitch for his Heinous?
Absolutely. This is the gnarliest adventure ever envisioned. His Heinous Harvest. Where do we even start? So it is a mega adventure, and what I mean by that is it's not a classic adventure module, it's not a campaign, it's not a mega dungeon, but it's a very odd mixture between these things. It's meant to be modular in how it plays out, and so there's tools to run it as a one-shot, a sandbox, a traditional campaign with so many options going into it. The story behind this is that there's this isolated, small little puritanical community far beyond the borders of civilization, and things have gone so terribly wrong. basically what ended up happening is the Baron wanted to become this great warlord in a mighty empire, but he was kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere and became this resentful, sour soul and kind of took it out on his faith and basically led the entire small little, backwater community into horrible corruption and depravity, tearing down their old faith and then resurrecting himself as the buried man. And it is the most disgusting thing I've ever read in my entire life. There's 16 chapters in total. I think I have 6 dungeons, like 6 side quests. There's 20 original characters right now, and I'm planning on stretch goals for more. I have a bunch of unique monsters. I think I have 20 or 30 of those. I have like tons of different war gear and special items and all kinds of cool options. And so it's really meant to be this universal toolbox that kind of embodies everything that I would personally want out of a D&D game. Because, I was raised by some of the best mentors within the industry, from people like Jim Wampler, the creator of Mutant Crawl Classics, Matt Finch with Swords and Wizardry, kind of half-father of the open gaming license. Greg Gillespie is basically my biggest creative influence in how his books actually operate at the game table. And as someone who does spend every weekend gaming, I know exactly what I'm looking for a product at the table that can either be studied and, I want my book to be fun to read, or it can just be whipped out on the fly, skim through some shit, and you're solid and ready to go. I've really put my heart and soul over the past 2 years into this. And this is the first.
I saw Mega Adventure. It did, of course. I immediately was drawn back to Greg's, his legendary Mega Dungeons.
And I'm so thankful for that.
I had a feeling that was kind of an influence on you there.
I've had many talks with him in the past couple of years. He's given me a lot of help. I was blessed enough to have a personal little lunch with him, or I think it was breakfast actually, at Last North Texas, where it was just me and him at a table. And for almost an hour, he gave me all kinds of both analysis and inspiration, review, all kinds of good stuff. Like, I love that man. He is great.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could do a lot worse than having Greg give you a little bit of creative advice.
Truth.
Yeah, his books are like I said, they're top notch.
They really are. As far as
you are doing. Oh yeah, true old school. So
better.
this is like old school, as well as Shadowdark, right? You're doing dual.
So I almost want to make a little bit of a public apology. I shat on Shadowdark for a long time before I actually started to understand what it is. Beyond being a really good game in its own... Hi, Kitty. Sorry about that. Beyond being a great game in its own right, it is so easy to pick up and play. The free rules that Kelsey has available makes it, anyone can just grab this, look it over, and run it at the table. And with that, there was something I noticed as I was looking through those free quick start rules, is that I think Shadowdark is the single most universally adaptable system that can be converted on the fly to other games. So yes, I am including stats for old school games because you write what you love, but Shadowdark's really there. I've never actually played it at the table, but it's so easy to understand. Anyone can run Shadowdark using whatever game system they are. I'm not a big fan of the close, near, far thing, but yeah, just add some measurements right next to that. You're all set. Add a descending armor class next to the
I think we got most of that. I hate to say it. I think your cat jinxed you again. Like your audio was kind of like cutting out.
Oh no, my bad. Here, Google, get out of here.
Now you're fine.
Now you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
Do not let the cat steal your voice, because I think that's what it was doing. It's like
it must be.
Some
Be
sort
gone,
of
Kitty. Sorry about that. We're also having crazy rainstorms right now.
Oh yeah, as you saw, those guys down in Texas were getting hit too.
Right.
Is that a Maine Coon cat?
He is, I believe, a Norwegian forest cat.
Say, very cute.
Big fluffy hunter of the wilderness. He's always crawling up and down trees, chasing down squirrels. Google, get out of here, dude. What are you? Sorry about this, everybody. Goodbye. Not what I expected there.
What you were saying though about Shadowdark, like I said, I think we got the gist of it. You kind of were a little leery of it. Who is this girl? Doing this, and then you kind of discover after a couple of years, she is the real deal. I mean, she's not just here to like grift, whatever that means, and then
Exactly.
try
I thought
to
it was just another Heartbreaker retro clone and kind of just dismissed it, but it is the single most inclusive game system I've ever seen, and I don't mean that politically or socially. I just mean it bands together the best of what I've seen, and I'm stoked about it.
Yeah, it was interesting. I actually got, like I said, got to run just a little test game of it, and I think I like it. It's real easy to kind of learn, and even for the players, I think kind of this is a case where maybe taking away choices. You don't want this for like a long term game, but for something that has like a short duration or a mid duration, kind of taking a little bit of choice away maybe helps them focus a little bit more on just the character and the important stuff and keeping things simple, keeping things going.
Truth be told, and I think there's something to that, is the simplicity thereof. It is you don't need a lot of these fancy custom features that various game systems offer to write an adventure module. It oftentimes is very irrelevant to the actual module itself, and so taking that into account, the more I looked at it, I was almost instantaneously sold, and it was very highly recommended to me.
Well, I think it's just, like I said, some of the old school folks are, I'm sure, when they see how much money she's made, look, I'd be a little bit like, why does she get it? I've played longer, I've worked longer, and obviously you always think your stuff is the best, which I get, I absolutely understand. But I would just view it as like the old, everybody used to do like an OSR and then a 5e version.
Exactly. I think that Shadowdark has just replaced the 5e version, at least for me and what I've seen.
Because it's getting bigger. I would rather reward somebody like that than Wizards of the Coast. I just would. I don't want to give them any sort of shine at all. So it's like there's nothing wrong with being like, all right, let's do the OSR version. And for everybody who kind of wants that sort of 5e vibe without really 5e.
Yeah, exactly. Hands down, I'm totally with you there. And then, old school gaming is so universal. It's my first love. It's what I really care about. And so it's easy to combine the two due to the simplicity of stat blocks and everything else. They're very compatible.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like, because when you're writing for 5th edition, you almost have to rewrite huge sections of each book and that kind of stuff. With Shadowdark, it's very much quick on the fly conversions and everything maths out well.
How are you going to present the dual stats in your game for OSR and Shadowdark? Are you just going to have literally two separate blocks, or a different
yeah, 2 different blocks basically is how it's going to go. I've been experimenting back and forth between a combined stat block, because realistically you kind of have what you need from one or the other, and then you can just add in like I was saying earlier, with a Shadowdark stat block you could just add descending armor class and a couple little things here for weapon ranges, etc. But yeah, Surly Unicorn in the comments. No sensitivity readers, 100% agreed. Well, actually, I do have to say, I did go over to Metlakatla, Alaska's only native reservation, and I was speaking with one of the local elders, and he told me that my stuff is not brutal enough, so, hey, that might count.
That's the kind of sensitivity we want to hear, yes.
Right, exactly. He's like, no, that's not how it'd play out. It'd be more like this, and really got into it with me. It was awesome. Experience of a lifetime.
So is there a lot of influence from kind of like the native
yes. Oh, absolutely. I didn't even talk about that. So Bellefollow, this all of this is set in my world setting of Bellefollow. I've been working on it for 10 years or so at this point in time, but it can easily be adapted and just transplanted into anyone's game world. If you have a dark rainforest, it can easily be run there. But my huge inspiration is, you write what you know. I live in Southeast Alaska. I love it here. Just last night, literally at it was my birthday. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and I went through a 10-mile run just out in the wilderness, pouring down rain, soaked. Like, this is what I love. My biggest inspirations are like Daniel Boone in the Age of Mountain Men, the fur trade that was happening around that time. I love like pike and shot era, and so I take a huge amount of inspiration from my locale.
Yeah. I'm sure you heard Crazy Mouse and Rogan and myself wish you happy belated birthday, my friend.
Thank you very kindly. Got cats all over this stream. Sorry about that.
You, I believe, are you still in your 20s?
I am 29 as of yesterday, so that's exciting.
Countdown is on.
Stay there.
Right? Honestly, I got a couple silver hairs.
Stay there, yeah.
You don't want to go any further.
Truth, honestly.
Beware.
I'm at a good prime right now.
Yeah, well, not too many 29-year-olds I know kind of kill it like you. Like you said, you're kind of a one-man band.
A lot of work's gone into it. You know, I'm used to 20-hour work days at this point in time. You know, I've been working within the RPG industry for so many different companies. I've done cover artwork for Frog God Games. I pretty much the only map maker for Pace Setter Games. I've worked with Skeeter Green Productions, the Independent Publishers Union, Stiff Whiskers Press, like the list goes on. And I feel that all of this has just trained me for this single moment in time where I'm ready to kill.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, no, I got that wolf in me right now. I'm like hungry for this, you know. Last year I did try and put this out, and it was going to be a 48-page little thing, and everything fell through. I'm totally okay with that, because now it gets to be what it was supposed to be. This is at least 150 pages, might push up to 200 with stretch goals and all that. I'm trying to keep everything as affordable as possible with $10 PDFs, and that's also going to include a bunch of stuff just for the digital package on its own. I'm doing adult coloring pages since I own all my own art. I'm doing little printable like monster cards that'll serve as both handouts and stat references. And I'm going to do two different things here. I'm going to do an audiobook of this because a lot of people don't have the time to sit down and read a 200-page book. That's a huge commitment. But realistically, I feel very comfortable presenting my work, and so I'm thinking about an audio visual, so that way you could watch, say, a YouTube video or something like that, and really I'll go through and highlight the different sections of each dungeon. I can throw up monsters on screen and really make it something special, and that's just with a $10 PDF. $20 you're getting the print-on-demand version, but the real gold that I'm going for is I'm shooting for $42, and it's going to be this nice exclusive hardcover. But it gets even crazier. Sorry for rambling, but I just because you know, I'm pouring my heart into this. This is what I really want to be doing, and I don't care how much money I make necessarily from it. You know, I'm already several thousand hours deep. No matter how well I do, it's not going to pay that back. But what I want to do is I'm going to be doing decks of limited exclusive collectible cards for each of the monsters and NPCs that are featured in. I've worked with various printers in the past, and so I'm going to have, like, you know, a nice collectible box set. It's all going to be in a custom printed deck box. I'm going all out. I have t-shirts at the ready, poster maps for all the different hexcrawl locations and the village map, and it's going to be a monstrous project. But, you know, I feel so confident and ready for this.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm going balls to the walls.
Yeah, I always love your enthusiasm.
He is a one-man band.
Yeah.
Go hard or go home.
Go. You guys see the description here, trekking far beyond the borders of civilization. You hunt after a thief, so this is probably the hook to get you in.
One of several main plot hooks, because I have various, I'll call them quest givers and quest lines, because this is kind of a mega dungeon-esque situation all stuck within an isolated little village. And it's going to be a kind of setup where you can crawl through a basement of one house that has a map into it, end up in a dungeon down below, end up in a different dungeon. So everything's really interconnected with different quests and plot lines and these kind of things. So this is kind of the main one that's going on, is kind of how I'm selling it. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no. Dwindling Straggler.
I get so hyped about this.
There we go. The Giggletar. You have a whole community high on Giggletar.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like a psychedelic. Would you
yes,
term it like that?
It's very psychedelic. I was heavily inspired by like bad mushroom trips and these kind of things, but it's also, so I'm calling it a deliriant because it functions also as a narcotic. I imagine it this weird timeless haze of flashing still frames where you're drooling and unsure of yourself. It is kind of a a little bit of an analogy to the current opioid epidemic that I've seen ravage this world, and I'm not too fond of. And so basically, it's all these tripped out, zombified people that have become addicted to the tar that's brewed within the buried man. So the Baron of this little isolated village wanted to become his own deity, but he made dealings with the gods of chaos and instead got turned into this horrible, wicked effigy that just kind of resembles his own spitefulness and nastiness, and it's brewed within him. So this black, bubbling tar substance is filled with his worms, and so when you intake the tar, it propagates the life cycle of the worms that then crawl through your flesh tissue, in and out of your bones, out the eyes, slowly just rotting these people away. Oh, be gone, alarm. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Yeah, no, this is gnarly shit. It is strict, mature, 18 plus. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We'll see how long I last on drive-through before they pull me.
But you got to be true to yourself. You know?
Exactly.
And I think there is a market for that. I guess what you call like tasteful gore, right?
Yes,
Is that
absolutely.
sort of what we're going for? Not gratuitous, tasteful, shock.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, is I've seen a lot of horror within the RPG industry without calling anyone out or naming names, but it is just shock value. There's no depth to it. I want people to be terrified. These are the things that genuinely scare me turned into a creative work, you know? All of my fears have gone into this book in one way or another, and I think that it's gonna hit a chord with pretty much everyone. I think there's something to offend and scare every single person that reads this book.
Is there like a lot of like kind of slow burning kind of dread in this?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. So the basic premise is, no matter how it plays out, is you're going to be going to the isolated colony of Dripwater for one reason or another, but it slowly turns into a series of understandings that kind of cue in from one to another, and as the tension builds, by the end, by that climax in the buried man, you finally realize what's going on. And I've had people vomit at my game table. I've play tested this 12 times. I get glowing reviews, and this is both in one-shot versions and campaign play. I've had great reviews across North Texas, my home games, everything else. But yeah, no, people genuinely get writhed and disgusted. I've had vomit at the table. It's effing great. I love it. I live for this.
I don't know what bigger compliment you can get. Like, yeah, so-and-so, he threw up at my table.
Are you running any of this at North Texas Con?
I'm so stoked. I love North Texas Con. It's the greatest convention in the world. So this is my third year in a row that I have been honored to be a special guest here. I am running 5 different games across 3 days, and all of my games have sold out. I think I have like 50 to 60 seats sold. So yeah, I'm going to be running some Heinous Harvest.
Awesome.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah, no, I'm ready to go.
I read it in the chat like an hour ago. You made a comment that North Texas Con, even though it might look like it's sold out, it's really not, right? You said that they've been selling.
This is my belief. I've never heard of anyone being turned away from the convention. They have a pre-allotted amount of tickets that they sell, and these are for people to get in the games you want, because through tabletop events and that kind of a thing, you have to go and sign up, and there's so many, legends of the industry that are running games. Their tickets sell out like hotcakes. But I do believe it's unlimited amount of walk-ups. I've never heard of anyone being turned away, and I think this is my 6th or 7th year going to the con.
Cool.
That's good.
No,
we'll remember. I don't think we probably won't play it that close. If we make up our mind and go, we'll probably line up on day one, virtually.
You should. Abandon your responsibilities. Come hang out. Let's groove down, dude. Also, this comment with Chris Miller here. Yes, baby. I love that. Shakespeare and John Carpenter. Yeah. Yeah.
Well put.
I'm down.
Now, do you like to use like miniatures or stuff, or is it all theater of the mind with you?
So my background, actually, I was a Warhammer kid. I am such a diehard miniature guy. I actually paid for my hair school back when I thought I was going to be a hairstylist by doing like commission Warhammer and War Machine armies, little Mordheim forces, and that kind of stuff. And it's always been an integral part of my gaming background. I have a very adversarial war gamey style of nature. I'm not afraid of killing characters at the table. Dice roll out how they may. Yeah. Yeah, I love miniatures and terrain, and it's, there was a question right before I went on. What a cool map that is. There was a question on how many hours you spend a week in gaming and doing game-related things, and I'm probably pushing like 70, 80, realistically, between everything I'm doing.
This is your job,
But this
right?
is your income,
Yeah,
right?
It is your job.
It is, yes. I am a full-time illustrator and cartographer within pretty much the indie old-school RPG scene.
That's a
But
great
beyond
question.
that,
Never asked that question.
yeah, it's good stuff. It's been a long road, been a lot of bumps, and so this right here, what you're looking at on screen, this is going to be the Kickstarter limited exclusive cover after the Kickstarter's over and all these books are fulfilled. Print on demand and PDF versions after this are not going to have that cover. So all of my merch I'm doing, everything cool, this cover is only for the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A girl in a cauldron covering her private parts.
Yeah, so that is the root mother. She was the abbess of Dripwater Abbey, one of the main dungeons in his Heinous Harvest. She was actually the one who drowned the old abbot and basically got into bed with the baron and had him skin his children and wife and led the satyr on into the manor house. And she's a nasty bitch.
Have you played the old school Warhammer fantasy?
Yeah, absolutely. I was that was my background. I kind of got into 40K first during it was right after Armageddon, so early 4th edition 40K, but I was there for Battle for Skull Pass and then onwards until they killed Warhammer Fantasy. I was never in the early days, but I wasn't born, so kind of get a pass there. Yeah. Though I do collect a lot of those old miniatures. The old Citadel is that's where I'm at.
Love this cover. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll be picking that up.
I'm very pleased with it. So this is Clockwatcher. A lot of people aren't going to be sure if they're going to like this style of work. They're going to be kind of, this is a new guy. This is my debut adventure, even though I have a little bit of credit in the scene. So Clockwatcher it started off as a dream I had 2 weeks ago, and I was going to write it into a nice little one-page dungeon, and it ended up becoming an entire another chapter of his Heinous Harvest. So it's right outside the Nightrun Wood. And what this is it's going to be my demo. It's going to be free and available. I was supposed to have it finished yesterday, but ended up getting way too partied out with my friends. And so I'm a day or two late. Sorry about that, everybody. But Clockwatcher is essentially the party is getting chased through the woods by a mysterious monster. There's 3 different monsters available of the DM's choosing, so they can have different kind of, bosses at the end. But essentially they find shelter at a remote little cottage and, just in middle of nowhere, basically. Living alone is a mother and her daughter, and essentially the party stumbles into a home invasion. It is a disgusting, gnarly, very, I like to say it's House on the Prairie meets The Hills Have Eyes. And so you can make a lot of assumptions, and you're probably correct on
I
everything.
immediately went to, you said that, House of the Prairie and The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
I went to that, what was that movie? There was an independent film, and it was in the forest. It was like back in the early 2000s.
Oh, Blair Witch?
Blair Witch. I went Blair Witch.
Yeah, very much in this. Yeah, Blair Witch is a great example for the vibe. It's kind of Blair Witch, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, somewhere in that level of nastiness is just his Heinous Harvest in total. But yeah, so after the characters stumble into this home invasion scene, it's up to them on what they do. They might join the bad guy and be like, this is our house too now. They might do, whatever. Yeah. But by the end of it, at midnight, the big monster that's been chasing him shows up. And so it is on a timer. It starts at I think 8 o'clock, then there's 10 o'clock events, and then midnight. So all this is going to be available for free. It's going to be like a 20-page PDF in the next couple days here. I'm going to have that out and released for anyone who wants to check it out. I'm very happy. I had my darling wife Samantha edit it for me. She did a great job, and running on a shoestring budget, running a Kickstarter with only myself and my own skills and a $0 marketing budget. I think I'm on the right track.
Yeah, this stuff looks great. I mean, it looks really professional.
Thank you.
Bellafalo, the world, right?
Bellafalo is the world setting, yes, indeed. So all of this takes place within a region called the Gutter Steppe, because trying to produce an entire in-depth world that I've been dreaming about since I was a little kid in one book, it's just not going to happen. So I'm going region by region. I hate to compare it to this, but almost like the zones you might find in like a World of Warcraft style game or something of that nature. And each one has its own villages, its own dungeons, these kind of things. So this is kind of the big climactic end dungeon. What you're looking at the top there is the estate of Sebastian Baron Jonsungern. He is the evil baron that led this place to, chaos and all that. And then there's the surrounding region. Everything's all described out. There's, I think, each location, so each map has about 5 different unique enemy types, as well as their own custom bosses and these kind of things. The manor house at the bottom left corner is, I think it's a 32 room dungeon, and it's basically exploring, looking for clues, figuring out what's going on. And then the buried man is located directly below the manor house. So this is kind of the big finale end dungeon. And if you will look, the buried man, it is this weird wooden effigy. It is Sebastian Jonsungern has become manifested into this gnarly, almost a Burning Man was my inspiration for it. But you can see that you enter in either through his head or his left arm, and then you make your way into the rib cage there. There's a little kind of donut-shaped pedestal podium thing suspended from chains, and surrounding the walls there, I didn't put it into the map, but there's hundreds of crucified villagers that are being poked and prodded, and then the tar, this oil and gunk, drips down into the pelvis down below, and then it's recycled back into them, and so they're constantly being fed their own gore. And then the wizard's property, this might be a little bit of a spoiler, but it is at the very tip of his phallus that you can see kind of towards the end of the pelvic area there. So yeah, the quest rewards in his dick.
Oh man, Sigmund Freud is gonna he would have had a
field day
Yeah.
with
Oh
you.
yeah. Oh yeah. No. The buried man is absolutely. You're on the right track there. You write what you know, and so for a long time, my
gnarly. I love it. DB says, Wonky, I am going to be able to Solomon Kane your game.
Please do. Bellafalo needs people just like you to do exactly that. This is the most terrible universe ever envisioned, and if you aren't going to be the light in the darkness, no one else is. No matter how murder hobo, how mean and evil your players are, I will outdo you. This is the worst place.
Yeah, a lot of people are picking up on that Solomon Kane vibe. Yeah, well, Kill Joe here wants to see you take a crack at painting the king in yellow.
I'm a big fan of Robert W. Chambers' work. Heck yes.
All right.
Love it. And so here is a breakdown of all the... Oh, sorry. This is... yeah. What you're looking at here is the different chapters that are going to be included in his Heinous Harvest, excluding the introduction and then conclusion. So basically for Manzidi, that's a starting village up at the very top, and it's kind of, where the characters are going to start. And it is going to have a dungeon of its own. Then you go into the Nightrun Wood, which is its own hex crawl region, and from that, the larger Gutter Steppe geographical region. You can see Clockwatcher in the top right-hand corner, and then in the very center is the actual colony of Dripwater, and you can see how all the different dungeons spiderweb and connect to one another. So from Dripwater Abbey, you can get down to the clue of the sacred cow, and then back to, either the colony or the buried man. So everything's very interconnected. I was super inspired by the way Gillespie specifically, has a lot of things tying together within his dungeons.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting you use flowcharts like that, because for like our regular D&D games, to keep things organized, sometimes I will do like these types of charts, or like a spoken wheel sort of thing, like stuff to kind of keep in mind for that session. If I know they're going to be interacting with certain things or doing certain things, I kind of do that sort of. I guess I'm one of those visual.
Chris
nerds.
Miller's out.
Here. Love
Good
you,
luck,
Chris.
Wonky, and you rock. And DB says his disco jacket is always the light in the darkness.
Always.
Oh, I love that. Everyone needs a good disco jacket.
My man. The Tap Daddy.
Yeah, this is one of the main enemy types featured. These are basically necromantic golems. They take these large gourds out in the estate and they fill it with a newborn babe and a bunch of gore and giggle tar, and they grow these half-sentient golems that are connected to the pulse of the worms of Old Sogan. And the stats here were old. This is when I was originally writing it for Dungeon Crawl Classics, Mutant Crawl Classics. I decided I'm not going that route. Don't want anything to do with that company, even though it's been my game of choice for nearly a decade.
I know you always appreciated the artwork and the kind of the aesthetic and feel of it, but yeah, it's getting kind of hard to go along with them, with old Joe Goodman kind of acting like he's been acting.
And that's another thing with what I love about Shadowdark is, like I was saying, it's very inclusive in the sense that I don't think I'd get approved for Dungeon Crawl Classics. I think I'm over the line because I almost verge into the Lamentations territory with a lot of this stuff. You know, it is too dark for DCC and MCC and the brand that they carry. And I think they would have me either change up my work too much or, whatever. So I decided I'm not even going to play around with that. I'm going to do
her license is essentially just don't say it's an official, just say it's compatible with. Don't say it's official and you're good like that. It's one of the easiest licenses, you're ever going to find, right?
Exactly. Like, I couldn't ask for better. And it's simple to read. It's easy to use. I found no flaws. And that's something that stumped me for why I haven't put out adventures for the past couple of years is I don't know what game system I'm going to dedicate myself towards. Before Dragon Slayer, was I going to do Swords and Wizardry? Am I going to do BX? Am I here or there or there or there? And no, just old school and then Shadowdark.
Yeah, this last year or two has just kind of crystallized that, because I was kind of thinking the same thing too, but it's like, oh, okay, OSR, it's going to be Dragon Slayer, and then that it can be converted to pretty much any OSR or Shadowdark.
Exactly.
Those two, that'll scratch both itches. You won't limit your market, but you also get to kind of serve your kind of primary loves.
Exactly. It's good seeing you, Bob. Thank you for stopping by, and I do appreciate the compliment. Much love to you, dude.
Wonky, when is this Kickstarter?
So, funny enough, June 3rd is going to be a big day. I'm running from June 3rd to July 3rd.
Oh,
yeah. So we're going to be having quite a bit of horror happening. And June 3rd is I'm going to be hitting the Kickstarter launch button probably like 2 or 3 hours before I get on a plane from Alaska to Texas. So it's going to be a big mystery. My funding goal is looking at $3,000 right now. And with that, I'm going to be able to get a fairly decent sized print run of these hardcover books, all of my cards done, and everything that I'm looking to do from it. Because, I'm not having to pay illustrator or anything else, so it's kind of like whatever money that I do make initially is being used into production and quality. The quality comes first to me.
Pumping it right back in.
Yep, exactly. I've invested a lot in myself. Turnip 28 got mentioned in the comments. Heck yeah, big fan.
Yeah, like I said, guys, it's why it kind of pissed me off that Jeff from the gaming gang, like, I don't know if you've been watching, but me and him have been kind of going back and forth on Twitter and on YouTube. And he accused me of...
Who is this?
Jeff from the gaming gang. No reason you should know him. He's like a YouTuber who used to kind of be bigger than he is now. He's just
sounds like a real loser.
Oh, he is, yeah. Look at last week's show. Even on the Sunday Chill stream, we kind of went over it. It was kind of funny because Chris Miller and Lord Mattias and I just kind of EFAP'd.
Great triggers, the three of you.
To tell you the kind of guy he is, he's the kind of guy who does these reviews online and then literally waits for the people that he reviewed to like give him ass pats. And if they don't, he will let you know. And
awesome.
The funniest thing was he was starting to get mad at Kelsey because he did like some sort of glowing Shadowdark thing, because she was using all these pull quotes from bigger sources. He's like a nobody.
I know who we're talking about now. I tuned in for a bit of when you were talking about that. Oh, what an awesome guy.
Funniest thing though is he's doing this live. He's kind of bagging a little bit on her for using all these pull quotes from all these big sources. Who shows up in his chat but Kelsey Dion saying, "Hey, sorry, I didn't mean no offense intended. I was just kind of doing what essentially was best for my business."
Yeah.
And then of course he's such a coward, he completely backs off like, "Oh no, that's fine.
Get more butthurt, you dork."
Yeah, but he accused me. He's like, I'm sick of these. He called me a hate monger who doesn't promote the hobby.
I'd agree with that. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, MFer. Like, just because I don't promote Cobalt Press, you're handpicked. Like, Tales of the Valiant. Like, Cobalt Press needs a YouTuber who gets 300 views a video. They don't fucking care. You're like somebody, send this guy a book and he'll be happy. And we own his soul for the cost of a book.
I want to feel important too.
Like, here I am. I'm like, I want to talk to folks like you and Black Lodge, Greg, and people like that. Like people who are actually producing quality stuff and not just garbage, like Cobalt Press and whoever else he reviews.
That is the goal here. I mean, man, I love that, between Black Lodge and I kind of doing very horror-themed things, literally launching at the same time. We haven't been in contact or communication about that, but man, I'm definitely going to have to, throughout my Kickstarter campaign, give a bunch of shout-outs, because it is one of those things of you got to support your own. You got to, give love to the things you actually care about, and they're going to kick ass.
People sign up for your Kickstarter and they order a book. When would the book be available to them?
Okay, so my being a one-man show, I do have everything in this packet here. You can kind of see how thickly stacked it is. I have the majority of it, besides stretch goals and stuff of that nature, is at least first draft written, and we're already at 160 pages or whatever. Some of it has gone through its second draft or even been edited, and then I do have a lot of illustrations to do, because I'm going to have at least 100 hand-drawn illustrations throughout this entire book. So it is going to take a little bit of time. With that being said, I'm hoping... So my hopeful delivery date for PDFs and digital rewards is going to be Halloween. My realistic pushback.
You are going exactly down the path I wanted you to go down. I was about to say,
Halloween
what a
release.
great gift for Halloween.
Isn't it? So that's my personal goal for digital stuff, and then for physical rewards, I want to have it in people's hands by Christmas, but it might go back until March. I'm just giving myself that extra buffer period because, I'm a one-man show. If I spill ink, I'm fucked for that piece. So I have to push back
do good work.
project.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you want to do good work, so people will wait a reasonable amount of time. There's a difference between people having to wait years, to get their stuff.
Your game and Black Lodge's games just seem like a game for the fall.
Yeah,
totally
agree. And I honestly think they'd be fairly compatible. I see no reason that, his Heinous Harvest is very self-contained with what it is. There is a region and then it's, a very detailed locale. I see no reason you couldn't throw that in Bloodmoor. It looks awesome.
Yeah, no, this isn't like a Tombstone Wyatt Earp thing. I think you guys can complement each other pretty good here. I don't think you're competitors at all. So yeah, if you guys, like I said, take a good look at both of these, and if you guys have, if you have the extra cash sitting around, these
Both
are
of
who we
them
want
on
to
the same
support.
day,
Right?
yeah,
It's like these are the people we want to support.
Yep.
Like I said,
I always hear comments about, old school is dying, the young people aren't picking it up, and everyone's too sensitive. No one's putting out the kind of content that we want to see. Yeah, here we are. Put your money where your mouth is. Let's go.
all right,
Now is the time.
We're complaining about the fucking food festivals and shit.
Right.
Now we got Giggletar. Put your money where your mouth is. Line up for your Giggletar. And
yeah, I'll serve you right up. I got a big old ladle. Worms included.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to get out before we let you go?
No, not at this point in time. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure to talk to. I am going to Kickstarter on June 3rd, as we've said. If you want a copy of the demo adventure that's going to be releasing in the next couple days here, shoot me an email at wonkyart@gmail.com, and I'm happy to send one your way. I would love for you to check it out.
Check out his channel.
Yes.
Wonky on YouTube.
I'm very new to YouTube. I only have a couple videos up, but I did put out this cool little minute-long teaser trailer, and it's pretty. It hits.
I tell you what, too. Let me give you a bit of advice for YouTube.
Yeah, please.
Don't be afraid. You have such an engaging personality. You're so kind of young and kind of have all that energy, which you can't buy. I mean, if you don't have it, you don't have it. So just don't be afraid to just fire up the camera and just kind of talk off the cuff about certain things for about 10 minutes. Just do a video and just say, hey, my thoughts on horror in role-playing games, or my thoughts on where role-playing games are going wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the way you are, you probably don't even have to worry too much about editing. I mean, you probably could, but your time is better spent doing other things. But it kind of like how RPG Pundit does it. He uses his channel to kind of help promote his stuff. And he's very low tech. He used to just kind of, aim the camera at his cat and the books that he was trying to keep in the public consciousness. But he would just do videos on his, and still does do videos on his takes of things, and it's effective. And I don't know if you heard me explain to Black Lodge on YouTube, if you want your channel to grow, you have to kind of produce canned video content.
I did pick that up, and I like that idea too. The big thing I'm afraid on going on stream by myself, because I'll say some off the cuff shit.
Yeah, which I understand. That's a different talent, and I still think you'd be great at it. By the way,
thank you.
But yeah, don't be afraid to just be like, write down some bullet notes to kind of remind you, and just say, I want to hit these, and I'm just going to talk for 5 to 10 minutes on this. Perfect. Just to get your channel
there
going.
You go.
Get some.
Search me up, the Wonky. It's me. Yeah. I did want to answer a question really quick. I was raised by a poor orc child. I only want the physical product, not the PDFs. Is there that choice by itself? I am not charging for PDFs if you're buying physical books, so you can just ignore the link to it, I guess. No extra cost or anything of that nature. Book's going to be $42 set, and then shipping's going to come after the Kickstarter, because Kickstarter just released their all-new pledge manager within the platform itself, so I'm super stoked to be able to integrate that and not have to go through BackerKit or third party.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited to keep everything contained. I'm going to be doing weekly updates every Sunday. I'm going to be showing off the new art I make for the book and all things good, so please give me some love. I've put my heart and soul for 10 years into Bellafallo. I've been working on his Heinous Harvest for 2. I need this to hit. Give me money.
Well, make sure you text me next week, right before, because like I said, I'll give you guys both a shout out again, because you'll be in that first golden 48 hours. So I'll make sure to remind.
Amazing if I could hit it.
Yeah. But guys, go to the description of the video. I don't know if you can. I know, and I think there's you can sign up. I don't know if you have anything regarding that, but at the very least, you can probably get a reminder. Can they probably get a reminder for it at this stage?
I'm sorry, something didn't click there. Could you reword that perhaps, or?
I was just seeing if there. Oh, notify me on launch.
There you go.
Notify me on launch.
Yeah,
sorry.
There's a notify me on launch, probably on both.
Yep.
So go to the links in this live stream and just click notify on launch, and then you can look, and if you got the money and things are going well and you think it's a good fit for you, look, these are the kind of people we want to help. So I have no problem.
Everyone that's not going to North Texas Con can clearly afford to buy this.
No plane.
You didn't buy a plane ticket. So
Ooh. One more thing. I'm sorry to do this. Is I've been working with a friend who's really big into 3D printing. So anyone that sees me at North Texas RPG Con, these aren't painted up yet. I got to do them all fancy. I don't know how well you can see that. I have custom coins that I'm going to paint all gold. So I did a couple years ago, and for a while I've done golden coins as rewards for my games. Just come say hi to me, get a coin. I would love to give you an exclusive H.H.H coin.
Love it.
There you go.
Love
Absolutely.
stuff like that. Yeah. All right, Wonky. Well, I know you're going to do well. You're going to at least hit your goal, and we're going to see if we can't get you, like I said, a little bit higher than your goal.
Got some kick-ass stretch goals along the way too. So yeah, let's see what we can do. Who knows? It's a wide world of wonder, my friend.
Safe travels to Texas.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, safe travels. Best of luck on the launch, and I will make sure to give
And
you
belated
a
happy
shout
birthday. You had a big week.
Yeah.
I know, it's been crazy, dude. I've been staying up I've been getting like 4 hours of sleep a night for like 2 weeks now, getting everything together. We're in the thick of it.
Yep. Somebody likes that Mastodon hat too. Yeah.
Big Mastodon fan.
Okay, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Much
Have
love.
a great weekend coming up, and safe travels. And we'll talk soon. We'll talk soon.
All right, we'll be in touch. Cheers, chat. Thank you all for having me. Keep kicking ass.
See ya.
Cheers.
All right.
His energy so infectious.
It is. I love.
Like if he wasn't a game designer, he could be a football coach.
Yes, run through yes. I love how like just people are just kind of normal and get along. Like there's him and Black Lodge are launching around the same time. There could be some cattiness. There's like no cattiness at all.
People asked earlier, what do the stars mean next to their name? Is that who's a channel member?
Yeah, that's probably channel members. Right. Yeah, I would guess. I have a brief lunacy video, and then we can get out of here probably early.
I am off next Wednesday. Ooh. It is Sophia Mouse's sports banquet. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be yesterday, but apparently somebody forgot to order all the trophies. So it is next week now on Wednesday.
Now they're stepping on Double D's toes.
Well, you know what's weird? They forgot last year too. So
did they really?
Yeah, they had to switch it last year as well.
So who was the person who had one job?
I know.
Had one job to do.
I know.
Yeah. One job.
You know what? Before you hop into anything, Black Lodge and Wonky. It's awesome listening to them talk and hear their passion. And we need, like you said, we need to support these people that are in our hobby that have amazing talent and are extremely passionate.
Yep.
Yeah,
and they're
absolutely.
putting out quality products, and we'd be fools not to support it.
And I'll be looking for the same support too. I'm going to do the old trust fall for you, with you guys and everybody else.
Speaking of trust falls, did you ever see that video? And I doubt you have it queued up. Roll that tape, Jamie. But it's a trust fall, and they had him close his eyes. And obviously everyone was standing behind him, and he fell forward.
Nice.
So he fell flat on his face. And he's like, I hate all you guys. And they're like, but it was clearly not staged because the guy that was in charge was like, no, as he was falling forward.
Almost forgot our buddy, Ultra American. Guys, go out in the red room. Speaking of, like I said, folks in our neck of the woods, let's take care of our own. Wretched Dixie. Oh, I wish I was in Dixie. Oh, boy. Hunter, Ultra, Tabletop RPGer. Hughes. Love it. 000. Wretched Dixie is a module source book for the Wretched RPG game that follows the events of the ACW starting in the year 1860 and 65. Players take on characters that are on the side of the Union who wished for the U.S. to remain whole, or the Confederacy who wanted to continue the practice of slavery. However, in true wretched faction, neither side was good or bad. Union and Confederate armies raided towns and murdered many people. This is true, with the death toll of the overall war being almost 700K. Whichever side you decide to make your character for is entirely up to you and the Game Master. Join the Union Army and fight to restore the nation back to whole. Fight with the Confederacy to maintain your secession, or split your table and have at it against each other.
It's like North and South, that miniseries with Patrick
Swayze.
Swayze.
Yeah, I was going to say Patrick Swayze.
We got one in here, buddy, from Snake Oil.
Oh, yep. Thank you. I'll
there
grab
he
that.
is.
Oh boy, I'll tell you what, I'll help you out here. Which one do you want, Crazy Mouse?
Oh, give him the Spock.
All right.
Bitter dregs.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, no Richard Boone. I wasn't able to import that one at the last minute. We're on a different we're on a web.
We only got 5 choices.
Got 5 choices essentially. Yeah, it'll be more next time. But yeah, we're on EV Mux, which is a StreamYard clone. So I aim to kind of make the same sort of experience as you get with OBS, which is our normal.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Thank you so much, Sean. And thank you, all of you guys, for super chatting, all of the memberships. It's much appreciated.
Yeah.
It really, really is. It really, really is. Yeah. But no, guys, I think you can go to the Red Room, which is just Mordoret. It's the Red Room spelled backwards. Very easy. And just look for Wretched Dixie. Help support Miguel and Sylvia. Again, I have a couple of Red Room books on my shelf over there. I don't know. They're good. They're good reading. It's just kind of an easy read. You can take it to lunch with you or dinner if you're just going out to grab a quick bite. And
I like going to a restaurant, not just fast food, just whatever. And I have a work notebook and I just take it with me and I get caught up on my notes. So I don't see why someone just wouldn't bring another book, you know?
Yeah.
If you're not a sloppy eater, it should be no worries.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think any book is like precious, unless, you like a first edition of something that's worth thousands.
War and Peace.
Yeah. It's just do it. Have fun with it. Yeah. 15-page supplement. Absolutely free. There you go, buddy. Gave you your shout out.
Well, we got someone asking how Rogan's doing. Rogan, will you start talking?
Oh, I'm here. I'm doing good. I appreciate that. I'm doing a lot better.
He's doing great.
I'm alive. Garibay couldn't touch me.
Yep. He is here. Rogan has been battling a very bad back. So
it sucks getting old.
Yeah, hoping we can get that fixed pretty soon here. Ryan for 5. Still stuck in the conference call, so I couldn't hear the bitter dregs. Ironic. The bitterest of dregs. All right, you whiner.
Let's do that.
All right, you whiner.
Get him again. Another one.
Bitter dregs.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Here's one too in the comments. Rogan was so quiet tonight they didn't even know he was here.
I apologize.
It's tough because it's not just our regular banter, which, obviously as the host, I probably hog a little too much of anyway. But, when you have guests, the focus is always on them. So these guys are professionals.
We are background characters tonight.
Yeah, they are very professional. So they know when to just kind of listen. So that's also why we're going to do a quick little, like a little bit of a normal show, even though we're on EV Mux, we're going to do a little bit of this. All right, this is our lunacy montage. All right, so this is the Secret Service agents in front of that are protecting Barack Obama right now. Far be it for me to feel bad for Barack Obama.
Holy cow!
But holy smokes, I don't know.
$10 million.
Ryan, thank you much. Give him another one. Oh boy, what do we got here? There we go.
There we go.
Quasimodo predicted all this.
Who did what?
So we got you covered a little bit. Thank you, Ryan. Much appreciated. Yeah, far be it for me to feel bad for Barack Obama, but woof. This is who he has protecting him. Secret Service, United States Secret Service, the people who are supposed to put their lives on the line.
Best of the best.
Best of the best. Listen up. That is 2 Secret Service agents, I believe 2 sisters, fighting it out amongst themselves.
Goodness gracious.
It was not it's not an intruder, not somebody going after the former president.
Well, they obviously weren't vetted.
Yeah, it was a couple of sisters pulling each other's weaves out.
Fascism is happening. Stop going to work. You stupid motherfucking people. Nothing is gonna change until you stop going to work.
Sounds like he already did.
Yeah.
Holy cow. He has Tourette's.
Show those fascists don't go to work.
It has to be Tourette's.
a retardation of some kind.
Remember that girl a couple weeks ago during this where she's like, I'm going to stop paying my bills.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I have a feeling you're going to eventually.
Yeah. How is that working out for her right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. See how that goes.
Some carry hate. We carry the largest trans pride flag to ever be flown in a national park and unfurled it on the side of El Cap to prove a point that trans is natural.
Does
that look natural to you boys?
That you know what that looks like? A Sasquatch.
Mrs. Sasquatch?
Yeah.
Yeah, about the last one, Patrick. Yeah, some people would be grateful for work. Yeah, not these people.
This
is a creature of. This is worse than Bigfoot, as I think somebody said on Twitter.
Holy cow.
That looks like a mask on his face.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So is that you can't see his lips because of the mustache, and he's got like Sergeant Slaughter's chin.
Yeah, it does look like Sergeant
He
Slaughter.
does. That's a good pull.
That's
yeah,
great,
it looks like
Rogan.
Sergeant. Yeah, that is Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, Bob Venka said the exact same thing. It's not even in our chat yet.
Two minds right there.
Yep.
Thinking alike.
Wow.
The Trump administration and transphobes would love to have you believe that being trans is unnatural.
There he is.
So where's your dress out now there, honey bunny?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, brother.
Just drink it in. Drink it in.
But species that can transition sexes can be found on every continent and in every ocean on planet Earth. So call it a protest, call it a celebration. We
kink.
Yeah.
It's a kink.
Call it a fantasy world.
You don't normalize a kink. You don't normalize that shit. Pretty soon it'll be in movies and stuff like that. Then it won't be a kink anymore. And then you'll be going on to the next kink.
Mental illness.
Slaughter is the best medicine.
We are bringing elevation to liberation. They try to erase us from government websites and education systems and libraries. So we raise this flag higher than ever before so every trans person knows that they have people that love them in their corner. The people united will never be defeated.
There as well.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Looks like Jesse Ventura. I got time to bleed out of my my gash. I figured we'd need a palate cleanser.
Bitter dregs.
What is more palate cleansing than a beautiful young blonde girl playing a flute in the Alps? Get the Sasquatch out of your brain.
Did the same thing I just did. Ricola.
Shut up, bitch! Do not talk to me like you think you can. You understand? Don't worry about it. Dex. Why are you fucking harassing me every time I video? Little shit. Don't call me that. Shut the fuck up.
Don't call me that.
You need to shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, so like I like pickles on my shit. You feel me?
Jesse, thanks for becoming a member. That just popped right now.
Yep.
Rock and roll.
Up there.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jesse. Uncle
like
Jesse.
and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Like and subscribe to Wonky. I'd like to see him get monetized for YouTube.
Yeah.
I subscribe.
He needs 1,000 subscribers. Jesse just gave out 10 memberships on his own.
Damn.
What? Get out of here.
Oh my lord.
Shut your mouth.
Oh my lord. 10 memberships.
I love the world according to Garp.
Thank you so much.
That's so nice.
Holy moly.
We'll go back to the
Like, you've got ogres. Like, you've got ogres.
Ay. All right. We'll see if there's any more hashtag fatigue. Went to visit New York within the past, I think, week or so. This is what you would see. Notice anything, fellas? Faces everywhere.
I know. Who is that?
I don't know. Some artist doing a thing.
Where you from? How old are y'all? How old are you? How old are you? Hey, which one is yours? How old are you? Which one is yours? That one? Shit, I want this one. I mean, I'll protect that one too. Huh? Hey, I want that too. Hey.
All right, so you're just going down the street. Yeah, see a group of young men. Is this what we want? Is this?
Hey, I'm gonna protect my guys. See, man, we got some of us, you know.
Asking, is this yours? Okay.
I got some of me too. 21. That's not good. You got a whole
What do you do? You're outnumbered? You're with your woman? What do you do?
This right here is the perfect commercial to make people that own guns buy guns.
Yeah. Yeah, I would recommend get yourself a CCP, concealed carry permit. It's like I've always said, it's not everybody. It's not everybody of one particular race or the other. But look, you get yourself into this position. Guess what? All those times when you just sat on your hands and said nothing, you're gonna be thinking about all that. It's gonna be going through your mind.
You trying to talk about this bitch on y'all talk, bro. You wanna do shit, nigga? Look, you got yapping, you know. Hey, respect. Get my ass, nigga, pussy, nigga. Hey, fuck 12, nigga. I still got them hoes. Hey, who fuck 12, nigga? Fuck 12, nigga. Yeah, I'm over 18, bro. That's why I'm trying to calm that down.
It's like, it's fucking scary. I'm sorry, it's fucking scary. You're out with your young lady. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, any group of young people that are, completely lost civility.
Like, just avoid. Like, just avoid. Don't get in any confrontations that you don't have to. But my God, just try to avoid, please. Yeah. Might see it coming though.
I got slut-shamed by a group of my students last week. I was extremely emotional and I actually had to take about 15 minutes to go cry in the bathroom because I was so disgusted and upset by their behavior.
All right, so she's a 9th grade teacher. She got slut-shamed by her...
Was she on OnlyFans?
By her own students. I think apparently the problem was she was wearing like those tight yoga pants. And they were saying... I think actually, it's the boys instead of just drooling. I think some of these young men now have had enough, and they're just because they see it all the time, so it's nothing special. So when they see their teacher acting like a dirty hoe, which these guys obviously did, they laughed about it. And then she has the absolute gall to go on Twitter and call them disgusting. No, they're not the ones disgusting. You need to be the one that pulled the yoga pants out of your coochie and dress appropriately for your job as a fucking teacher.
Isn't there a dress code? There's got to be a dress code.
Hardly. I mean, even around here, a lot of these guys would wear like, your wife, didn't she tell you about guys who wear like shorts and shit?
Yeah.
Like when it starts getting warm, I'll just wear my, basketball shorts to work. It's like, fucking come on. Yeah. Don't be a 9th grade teacher around a bunch of horny, like 14-year-old kids. And then, be shocked when it boomerangs on you and they're like, bitch, enough.
They're probably between ages 13 and 15. They're freshmen. And this girl comes up to me and she goes, hey, just so you know, they're saying that your outfit is not appropriate and talking about your ass. And I look at them and I'm like, are you actually saying that right now? Are you serious? And they were like, no, we weren't. But they were like laughing. I'm not going to infantilize them and say that.
This guy's great on X. He's the woman.
They shouldn't know because they should. They're 14. That's fucked up. But the worst part...
They're 14. That's fucked up. No, what's fucked up is you wearing fucking yoke.
The school didn't suspend them or reprimand them in any way because I think that behavior is like so normalized and it's dismissed as boys will be boys. But it was incredibly degrading and dehumanizing because I was just wearing pants that fit my body.
I was wearing pants that just fit my body. Really? Yeah.
It's healing.
Like a glove.
The kids are gonna be all right. Gen Alpha, keep up the good work. So based. Please continue to slut shame your teachers. That's awesome. You love to see it.
Woman propaganda.
The way that
That's
she blinks her right eye when she's explaining the story also means there's a little bit of lying involved somewhere.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
Crazy Mouse, you catch everything.
Yeah, you can't slip much by our old Crazy Mouse over here. Yeah, she seems like a fundamentally bad person. Not like evil, just like bad. Like just, if you were to say like, show me a product of today's society, I would like point to that chick. Yeah, dear Penthouse Forum, today my teacher, yeah. See, we'd have done that back in our day, and she probably would have gotten away with it, but these guys, they're 14. I got news for you. They've been watching it for
in the yearbook
4 years.
when they open up the center, it should be a pull out of
yeah,
her.
the centerfold, yeah.
In her yoga pants.
Yeah. God.
Yoga pants. They're not looking at the... They're not looking at the...
I was looking at the moose knuckle.
I was just trying to get that out.
Yeah, selfish and self-centered, exactly, Sharon. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. Optimus, this is the Tesla robot. What it does is it watches videos of people doing household tasks, and then it learns from that. So what you're seeing is like learned behavior. Think, fellas, how many years before we start seeing these things?
Well, after watching him stir this pot of vegetables, a long time.
I saw a little video recently and it looked just like those robots, but it was flipping out.
Yeah, the one in China.
Okay,
I showed that. That was
that
menace.
Yeah,
that's probably some shitty Chinese knock. This is like Tesla. This is like real tech. The only thing China can do is copy people. It's like all they do is steal other people. They can't think of anything themselves. They steal stuff and do it. They do what we used to accuse Japan of doing in like the 50s and 60s. You know, remember, made in Japan. It's shitty. That is China now. And like to your point, Crazy Mouse. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't look good yet, but how's it going to look in a year? You know, when they start getting the finer motor skills down. I'm predicting within 5 years, there will be places you can go and you will see these things doing stuff, whether it's wiping down tables at a chain restaurant.
They'll be out in the boulevard with a sign collecting money for whoever owns them.
Yeah, please help. My program's broke. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but there is this thing about the population going down, the boomers retiring, and the young people just not feeling they're above like these menial jobs. I don't know. It's a brave new world. Asterion, $5. I've literally never heard anyone say boys will be boys to excuse genuinely bad acts in my entire life. No, they've never. So this lady's lying about something. Yeah, of course she is. She's a dirty hoe. I mean, for her to even pick up a camera and reveal this information is a horrible breach of etiquette. Like people can that know her will like, oh, I saw your video. Oh, I who's in your class? I know who's in your class.
You know, a week from now she'll be unemployed.
Right.
With any luck.
Because there are no secrets.
Yeah. It's like, bitch, just do the OnlyFans. Unfortunately, and I do mean this, unfortunately, you're going to make a lot more money probably, at least at first. And then it'll probably tail off to nothing. Because a lot of those chicks do not make a lot of money, but she could probably get some cachet by saying, I got fired from my job as a teacher because I'm a dumb whore. I like bending over in my yoga pants in front of them. Boo-hoo. And then they ratted me out. Maybe they just, maybe they were there to learn. I mean, oh my God, such a foreign concept these days.
Past video there. Everyone read Robopocalypse.
Robopocalypse?
Yes, Robopocalypse.
Robopoc.
Yeah. Robo.
R-O-B?
R-O-B-O. Robopocalypse.
Robopocalypse. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Here we go. 103-year-old World War II veteran at a Memorial Day parade. Watch this bitch right in front of you. Giving him the thumbs down. Lucky I'm not there, sweetie.
God bless it.
Gotta assume that's a girl. I don't care if you're a girl. I'd knocked your fucking teeth out. Dragged you out of that chair and made you apologize.
Why did you go then?
Maybe to see just the marching bands and all that shit. But it's like everybody knows Memorial Day parades, if you have them, you're going to get veterans there, obviously. It's the whole point of the fucking weekend. You classless bitch. That fires me up. Yeah, thumbs down to a 103-year-old world. She's probably the first one that would bitch like that first guy about fighting fascism. Got a guy who actually fought real fascists. See you, Jesse. Have a good one, man.
Thanks for those.
Yep.
The memberships.
Memberships, yeah. Did
Absolutely.
memberships. Sean too. Mercurius as always. Maybe some others I missed in there. Yeah, all the super chats.
The name is Toby.
Yep.
We
Thank
don't
you,
have
guys.
that one tonight.
Yep.
Every time Rogan pokes me with a stick, I'll just say that. The name is Toby.
Name is Toby.
What a shame.
Come on, tough guy, walk it off.
I want to know the cop who aimed that. Yeah, I want to know the cop who aimed that. That is what we call
Reminds me of that girl with the traffic cone.
Yeah, man, on the head. Yeah.
And there is no.
Oh, yeah. So we've been documenting like the South African people, the good South African people that are coming here, the farmers, the people who want to work and just get away and be free and safe. So here's some serious cope. There's no confiscation of farmland. Did you know that? It's a lie, according to these people.
Amazing.
What? Just listen, though. So the South African government is not confiscating farmland.
Confiscation of land. Half of South Africa is white-owned farms, essentially. Even though the white population is only 7%. What the government did do that really caught Trump's eye this year was a measure that would allow the government to take land without providing compensation.
All right, so taking land without providing compensation.
That's not confiscation.
Yeah, that is confiscation.
It is. Is it?
Yes.
It's got to be.
Yes. The New York Times can put someone on and with a straight face tell you there's no confiscation of land and then say what the government's doing is just taking people's land and not providing compensation. That is how awful our mainstream media is.
We've been hearing about this stuff for the last, say, 15 years.
Oh, easy.
These little things pop up in the news all the time. What's going on over there?
They're doubling down on the kill the boar and all that stuff
Right.
too. God, please come over here, all of you good farmers. We don't want any of the trash, just the good farmers in that. Asterion, $5. That guy was hitting notes higher than Steven Tyler for a long time after that nut shot. Amen, brother.
Again.
Oh, I love this. Wiggly tooth. And a pet cockatoo.
She got it!
I love it. I love it.
Good job, now!
It's just something so wholesome about that. I had to throw it in. I
that's
love
cute.
it. Yep.
Should have been in that ice cream video. These two guys down there.
Oh,
remember?
yeah. You got $5. Betty can hear me now.
Today's pronoun of the day is flows. Just remember that these pronouns were requested by someone who does currently use them or intends to use them in the future. So claiming that neopronouns don't exist is erasing someone's experience, and mocking them or ridiculing them is what we call bullying.
And there's not enough bullying in life. I mean, honestly,
Yes.
we grow up in a time, where bullying was dished out to everybody,
Yes. Yeah.
just about everybody.
Yep.
It made us healthier.
And these people needed a double dose. Neopronoun. What do you think neopronouns are, Crazy Mouse? I have no idea.
This guy's crazy, though.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Oh my Lord.
I know.
Oh my Lord. Back up a little bit, maybe. Kevin.
Kevin.
Give him. Go to the layers
Holy
and give him
cow.
something.
Yeah.
Give him another one or something. Give him another one, maybe. You could give him the full Jack Carlson. Do you want to give him the full Jack Carlson?
We could.
Let's do it for him.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before. Get some cups. Why did you do this to me? In the car. Get some cups. For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? How dare get your hands off me.
No, we've only got one.
Ta-ta and farewell.
So I guess get him in the car.
I saw another.
There it is. Hold on. Let me have
There it
control
is.
here. Let me have control.
It's down farther.
Yeah, we got. We're trying to.
There it is.
Yep. I think it was.
Nope.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
It's from James, wasn't it?
It was from James. Hold on 1 second.
There it is.
There we go. We found you, James. Thank you so much, Kevin. 20 is very generous.
That is so nice.
Very generous of all you. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Yeah, people still don't hate the media as much as they should and as much as the media deserves. You can't. They're in the bag for a certain point of worldview, a certain political party. If you see the word, the letters CBS, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, all that stuff. Pretty much Fox is the only one where you'll get sort of a centrist sort of a thing. I mean, they're a little right wing in their commentary, but just their news is just
This guy
basically
kind of looks
normal.
like Joyce DeWitt.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's almost. I almost feel ashamed, like comparing the great Joyce DeWitt to this.
Is this a dude
AGP,
or a woman?
I have no idea.
What's that?
Anymore, I can't tell. Is
I don't
it
know.
dude
if it's
or
a guy
woman?
or
it's a
girl.
dude. It's a dude.
What do you
Yeah,
guys
dude.
think?
Yeah. I just
Dude
think
or woman?
because of the choker, it's hiding the Adam's apple.
Yeah, it's a dude.
Maybe I'm
Good
wrong. I
call.
have no idea.
Good call.
100% a dude. Yeah. They want you to do it's hard enough for people to like learn people's names and
Right.
like, but now you got to learn the fucking pronouns. I always want to say like I'm not going to be talking in that second person or whatever right in front of you. I'll call you by your made up name. I'll indulge your delusions that much. If you say your name is Charlotte or whatever, okay. Charlotte it is, but I'm not going to be doing like Lo and Lou or
Which
whatever.
I really hope you do not want to bully someone. They're just curious as to what feels most comfortable to them. And
Wonky for $2. Thank you for having me on.
you.
Such a great job. Oh,
Thank you,
Thank you for
Wonky.
coming on, buddy.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Yeah, our pleasure.
It was awesome listening to him.
Yep.
It really
this
was.
is what feels most comfortable to them, and it's not harming another person. Well, baby, let's just do it. But why might someone want
It is harming me. It's causing me stress that I would need to memorize 10 different sets of pronouns for 10 different sets of people plus proper names. Fuck you. Seriously, fuck off. Take your fucking mental illness and, do whatever you want to with it.
I went to one of the those office supplies places long before we had children with my wife, and we're walking around. She's looking for a word processor thingy, whatever. And a gentleman walks up and says, "Hey, can I help you, ladies?" And that's when my hair was really long, really long. I turn around and the guy's like, "Oh, dude, man, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Dude, don't worry about it."
Yeah,
I get it. You didn't misgender me. Oh,
yeah.
I was like,
just,
no, I forgot.
It's all right.
Whatever, dude. So, but now this person, you walk in with a dress and a wig on and a beard and a mustache, and you lose your shit when the guy says, "Hey, sir, can I help you?"
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Like Sergeant Slaughter at Yosemite Park.
Yeah, neo-pronouns sound like neo-Marxists, says Michael Rose. Yep.
We got James coming right again. Damn. Shibuya.
The lady who played Rachel in Blade Runner also played Chani in Lynch's Dune. And best of all, is from the great Commonwealth of Kentucky. What, are you talking about Sean Young? Rachel?
Surly just said that. Sean Young.
Sean Young, yeah.
Yep. There they are.
Yeah, she's an interesting. She was always a little weird. Remember when she wanted to be in the second Batman?
Oh yeah,
she dressed up like Catwoman.
Pushed hard for that.
Yeah. Then Tim, what's his name?
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. Yeah, he's like, you're a little too clingy for me. Sorry.
I want to use these pronouns. People often choose neo-pronouns based on how they feel or sound. Flo sounds...
No, there's no neo about it.
Yep. Neo. You know who's based? Who kind of reminds me of the whole Sean Young thing and with Joyce DeWitt is Janine Turner from Northern Exposure. She's like a legit libertarian, I think.
She rocked a pixie cut.
Ooh, she was hot in the back.
Yeah,
of the day.
she was one of the few that I could tolerate. I liked it when later in the show she kind of grew it out a little bit more. I'm like, all right, I'm in now.
Badger, I think I heard about this as well.
James Woods Johnson to his leg allegedly. Oh my lord.
Rock and roll.
Oh, really? Her and Mark Singer made a movie about it for a while. See, Mark Singer, the fucking Beastmaster. Think about all the people who are like, I don't want to say secretly Republican because everybody knows, but like quietly Republicans, like fucking Mark Singer, Arnold, Trump weirdness aside. Even back in the day, he was at least someone you could look to. Sylvester Stallone has always been, just quietly conservative. Clint Eastwood, all these fucking legends that just do their job, don't make a big deal out of it.
Right.
Then you got no talent hacks like Mark Ruffalo. Just opening his mouth every fucking day. I mean, it pains me to say too, like Ron Perlman, who just has terminal TDS. But it's like, guys, you don't have, a thimbleful of the talent all these, Hollywood conservatives have. Everybody always says, yeah, everybody knows, Hollywood's all liberal. It's like, is it 100 pennies, versus,
right.
I think we have a couple of quarters on our side.
Just like the word flow, but without the W. The word flow suggests fluidity, movement, change, which can be important symbols for gender. All right, now let's see how to use these pronouns in a conversation. I miss Kim so much. Have you seen Flo today? Yeah, I ran into Flo at the library earlier today. Flo was working on Flo's presentation for tomorrow. Oh, nice. I've been meaning to ask if Flo needs any help with it. I think Flo would really appreciate that. Flo said that it's been really hard to handle all by Flo's self.
I can't even.
Don't try to make heads or tails.
These people hurt my brain. It's a sadness.
Yeah.
Holding signs that are hateful to people here.
Nothing hateful about it.
Then why do you have it?
All right, what do you think's on the sign?
Welcome to Wendy's.
Yeah, we're out of ice cream. Welcome to Wendy's, we're out of ice cream.
Yeah.
No one needs your
The
hate.
milkshake machine is down
Broken.
at McDonald's.
I don't even ask. I say when I go late at night, I'll be like, have you guys like started to clean the milkshake? I don't even want them to have to think they have to lie. I'm like, did you already start breaking down the milkshake
Right.
machine? They'll usually be like, yeah, we did. I'm like, all right, that's fine. People get that, Don't say it's out of order. Here we go.
So what does the sign say?
All right.
You're a disgusting, awful person. Then go at home and speak your truth at home.
No.
No.
I want to report a young
Trans women or men?
Well, that is a fact.
Just seems like the truth. I don't know. He was vocalizing the voices in his head. Yeah, the other guy. Yep, exactly, James. Talking to himself.
He hit the scratchers, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
man with hate signs that he's recording people. He's on Brookdale Road across from the fire department. Okay, and what does this sign say?
The milkshake machines.
Oh, here we go. Are you guys prepared for the rough and tumble fields? Well, not fields, courts of pickleball.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Here we go.
Oh, Don. Whoa.
You know what? If they all deserve it. If you're out there playing a game called pickleball, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
You deserve it.
I haven't seen oddly enough, I started, there's this channel called Stories by AMC. So I watched essentially yesterday, like 3/4 of a season of Mad Men. And there's a episode where Don Draper is drunk and an old nemesis, Duck, comes into the office late at night. And Don Draper is so drunk, he throws a punch and it looked exactly like that guy's punch. It was like overhead, missed by a mile with a predictable result. He got sat on. No pickleball courts were so so spicy.
It's a great feeling.
Ancient Chinese secret.
To all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
You're soaking in it.
Time to make the donut.
Feeling old yet, boys?
Yeah, I do.
We feeling old? I can keep going if you want.
Keep them coming.
I'm gonna wash that gray right out of my hair. I can bring home the bacon.
Ooh, fried up in a pan. Snake Oil Sean, $2. Gilbert and Sullivan's Ganglands. Yep.
Right up in a pan.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey. My baloney has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name. It's M-A-Y-E-R. Hey!
Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen these live in their day, folks.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon? But of course.
Gee, your hair smells terrific.
Fill your cup to the rim with Brim.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
A good question. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
You're not fully clean unless you're deathfully clean.
Clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off. The clapper.
That clean red freshness smells right through it. Your fresh breath goes on and on while you chew it.
Man, these are they're bringing back a lot of memories.
That's when they made when commercials were commercials.
Oh,
well, here you are now, still remembering them.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Every one of these, I'm just not going to talk over it, but yeah, they're in your brain.
Now you're playing with power.
Fill your cup to the rim with Brim.
How do you spell relief?
When I have heartburn, I spell relief R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Man,
It's the Wayback Machine.
yeah. Oh man, that is that really depresses me. How old we are. It's like I've said it before. It's like you start watching it. It's in your mind. It's so close. You can almost touch it. You know, like you're thinking back. Like I remember sitting, in front of the TV at my, my old house. I remember, where I was, one time when I saw this commercial, it like stuck in my mind. I don't know, man.
Somebody mentioned the crying Indian. You mean the crying Italian?
Yeah, the crying paisano. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, the memories that when I think of them, they're right there in my mind. And I'm still, in my mind, I'm still a young person. But then when I try to remember all the memories in between, and that's what gets me.
Yeah,
like tallying up the years, because like these commercials right here, like they're so familiar, almost intimate with us. They're in our head. Any commercials in the last 20 years or so, they're not memorable.
Well,
there'll be a few, but not many.
Yeah, right.
But it's such a different landscape now too.
Have a good night, Wonky.
See you, Wonky. It's different when you're growing up and there's 13 channels or and then all right, so you get basic and there's a grand total of 40 or something. You're still seeing the same commercials.
Right.
The part that's sad is the reason we won't remember a lot of commercials now is we watch so many shows on streaming that don't have commercials. Or sometimes you're watching a sporting event or whatever, and maybe you press pause so that or you start it late on purpose so you can avoid commercials. So many people go out of their way to avoid them. I don't mind commercials.
It's almost the worst of both worlds because I'm starting to notice they are starting to introduce ads into everything now. Like YouTube is almost unwatchable now due to the ads.
I just watch YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
And there's no commercials.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a good way to do it because if you're watching long form content and it requires interaction, you have to like press or go to your TV controller and hit skip. It drives me crazy. But the kind of ads you're seeing there are not, they're targeted ads for someone in your demographic or your likes or something like that. So you're not getting this, like what we just saw.
Right.
All those things, the common thing that we can all rally around. Everybody that put one in the chat.
In a weird way, now that I'm thinking about it, aren't YouTube Shorts like commercials? They're getting me hooked on a certain product, which would be a specific YouTuber.
Yeah, they are, but it's just there's not the commonality.
There's no product placement, experience. But it is to lead me towards,
Mm-hmm. But it's so much content. It's like a fire hose of stuff. Now, for me and you, it would be good because you share all of your good YouTube Shorts with me. You're like, hey, check this out. And
I know what you'll kind of like, that Chinese guy or Asian, whatever you want to.
Yeah.
The guy from
Cody.
And then also the girl.
Yeah, that's her.
But the guy I sent you about, right.
Chris, what's his name? I think, Chris No or something. Yeah. Yeah, so it's like we have that, but it's just, like I said, everything's just kind of, everybody's in their own little bubble now.
Right.
It's just...
The recent commercial that I do remember quite a bit, unfortunately, for a negative reason. Why did they replace the fat Jake with a person of color?
Oh, the state farm.
Yes.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anybody.
Because they had to.
Because
they had to.
It's discrimination against that guy right there.
What are you wearing? Guy. Jake from State Farm. Khakis.
Yeah. God. Don't get me started. Yeah, Budweiser frogs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look, not really in my time, but I recognize, I could see where people thought that was iconic. Yeah, absolutely.
Kohler beer commercials when I was a kid.
Yeah. The Was Up. Remember that? Like that whole series, Was Up.
Was that 80s?
Beer. No, that was more like late 90s, wasn't it?
Really?
Mm-hmm. Crazy Mouse. Yeah. What beer was that? It was like Bud Light or something, maybe.
I think it was Bud.
Oh, Bud, yeah.
Bud or Bud Light. Anheuser-Busch, so.
Where's the beef, says Jeff, yeah. Clara Peller. Spuds McKenzie. Yeah, as much as we rolled our eyes, I would... Yeah, my heart would be stilled for a Spuds McKenzie right now.
Someone put up there the Swedish bikini team.
Avoid the Noid.
Avoid the Noid, yeah. Swedish bikini team was always good. But there was nothing other than you just knew you were going to see good-looking women. I can't give you any specifics of those commercials other than because everybody was just kind of looking forward to the end, you know? Like, all right, when are we going to see, like, the Swedish babes? California raisins. A little too cutesy for me at the time. Again, I'd probably view it a lot more friendly now. Avoid
the Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Oh yeah. See, Avoid the Noid came out while I worked at Pizza Hut, so I think that was like personal, if I'm not mistaken. That was late '80s, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
Sounds about right.
Man.
This one, we make holes in teeth. We make
the cavity creeps. Yeah, we make holes in teeth. Those look damn good. Those look like like when you saw those, you're like, I want to see the cartoon for this.
Right.
I'm watching a bunch of Hanna-Barbera shit where they just reuse the same backgrounds, as the characters are running. Old Marine Corps commercials. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I can picture them in my mind. The few, the proud, the Marines. That narrator who narrated everything back then.
Godsmack did a song for them.
The Marines?
Yeah. I'm not sure. It's not Voodoo. It's their other one. Their other big one.
Oops. I fell for that trap too. Crazy Mouse. Yeah. Ryan. I was heavily involved in that. The Book It. It was called the Book It program.
I stand alone.
Little coupons. They were like little coupons.
You used to be able to take your report card to McDonald's and you would get a cheeseburger for an A, maybe a French fry for a B, and a milkshake for a C or something like that.
Yeah.
God, what a great world we grew up in. And it's like, I don't want to die. I know how it must feel, as I've said before, to people now. Oh yeah, old man,
Bob, for some reason I think you're wrong.
We had it really good growing up.
We did.
I mean, we had it really good. Not saying there's not good stuff now, but man, just a simpler time.
Awake is the name of the song. Not I Stand Alone. It's Awake from Godsmack. Yeah, they hooked up with the Marine Corps. And it's the drum riff at the beginning.
That's cool.
Front of the house or back, Sean? I started in the back. And then I realized how much more the waitresses were making and waiters. We had a couple of waiters. I'm like, you know what? I'll be making more money, and then I'll be hanging out with all the cute waitresses. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna transition.
Sounds like a strategy.
To waiter.
Back for him. But Travis said he started at the front.
Yep. That's where most of the guys started out, yeah. Travis in the front.
How do you put on the dirty underwear? Yellow in the front, brown in the back.
Oh yeah. So I see like nobody wants to work those jobs anymore, and I'm like, man,
that's what those AI robots will do.
Yeah, it's like that. Everything I needed to learn about the work world, I learned at Pizza Hut.
This is your brain, says Nixit. This is your brain on drugs.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. Still have scars too.
People talk about cereal commercials. I used to work with a woman who looked just like the Crunch Berry Beast.
Oh God, yeah, I remember. Yeah. You'd always say like Mary. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The Crunch Berry
Beast. Yep.
Yeah, that's her. Yep. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Black
Everybody,
Lodge.
thank you so much.
Coming on.
Absolutely.
Black Lodge and Wonky.
Yep.
The Kickstarter is the 3rd. Yep. I won't be here on the 4th for next Wednesday, but I'll be tuning in later. The award ceremony can't go all night. This is for grade school kids.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Starts at 6 o'clock. I'd probably be done at 8, if even that.
If you get a wild hair, I'll keep your microphone hot for you.
Yep. Snake Oil sending us out with 5.
Oh, Sean. Amigo. All right.
Thank you.
I'll hook him up here.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Thank you so much, Sean. I do appreciate all you guys who super chatted tonight.
Yep.
Gave out memberships. Very generous. It's always, I know when we have guests on, like there's not a lot of opportunities to like super chats because everybody's like just kind of listening to what they have to say. So thank you guys so much. I really do.
Not just the super chats and the memberships, just for keeping us lively in this chat.
Yeah.
Keep the conversation going and flowing. Yeah.
Yep. All you guys who show up every week, whether you super chat or don't, we love you, as you guys know it.
Hit the like button on your ride out. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Check out the Wonky. Doesn't cost anything for a subscription, at all. Just to give them a subscribe. It doesn't cost you 1 penny. You don't even need to turn on the notifications. Just hit the subscribe button.
Yep. There you go. All right, people. Good to see you. I keep saying I'm going to do a video. I think I'm gonna. I think I have to now. YouTube is essentially saying make a video, or we're gonna start like really punishing your channel. So
James on the ride out, Double D.
Oh,
it's about to pop up right now.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you, buddy. James, thank you so very much.
There you go.
Like the way you kiss me. I can tell you miss me. I can tell it hits. Not trying to be romantic. I'll hit it from the back just so you don't get attached.
Clear out of here!
What better way to go out on than that?
Bam.
You old softy, you. I always knew you were a romantic at heart there, James. All right, guys. No outro or anything tonight. Just go get stuff done or go to bed. We love you. Take care. We'll talk soon. No Crazy Mouse next week, but you'll be getting me, hopefully Rogan. And, we'll talk soon.
Peace.
Good night, everybody.
Peace.